Think you'll be at Azure before July is over? I'm hoping to. I'm hoping to. Ah, the AC just kicked in. Actually, we're gonna do the outside of the city first. Yeah, I'm hoping to have Azure finished by the end of July. So we can start Cold Steel in August. I know a lot of people are interested in me starting Cold Steel. What's the time clock now? 47 hours. 48 almost. I'm expecting this game to be anywhere between 95 and 110. By the way that I'm going. Hello, SSS. You didn't happen to see anything unusual on the way here, did you? Unusual? How? Nope. Not the way you haven't seen before. Okay. Hopefully, we'll have better luck tomorrow. Forget I said anything. Just some work-related business. I might put in a request for all of you in the future. I'd appreciate it if you heard me out when the time comes. I don't know what's up with you, but sure. You know how you can hit us up. You can hit us up whenever. 47 hours? Those are rookie numbers. Gotta pump those up. Also, happy Sunday, everyone. What's up, Trails? How are you, buddy? Welcome in. I've read over your investigation report. How curious that the pleroma grass named in the cult incident would be relevant in our current predicament. We were surprised as well. How would you like us to proceed with the investigation? For now, the CGF is still unable to act. That said, having identified the apparent cause of the cryptid's sudden appearance is tangible progress. Please continue investigating to the fullest extent of your abilities. Don't worry, we've got this. We got it. We're fine. We're fine. Bum bum bum. So the idea for today's stream session is to get a bit of story progress done. We're experts, ma'am. We're spectacular. Okay. We just got Agnes chapter 8. Do 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 do. Any quests still? Yeah, we have 3 to do tonight. We're only on day 2, so I don't know how many days there are in this chapter, but I'm thinking if we don't get through the chapter, we'll get a good chunk done tonight. Bum, 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 ba-na-na-na-na. Kids. Marlowe is finally getting back to his regular self. I find the music in this the damn cat. A damn cat. It's nice and quiet here, which makes it the perfect space to relax in. I think I'll just rest easy until it's time for the interview. Interview? Okay. You can have the damn cat. I don't want it. Yeah, Morgana. Bum, 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 bum. Okay. Maybe we have to finish stuff before coming back here. I feel like there's something with that interview thing. Okay. We're gonna go do America Village after anyway. We'll go there last. So we'll do St. Ursula. Kind of hilarious. Her name is Flammy. Every time I think of Flammy, I think of the dragon from Secret of Mana. Flammy. About that plant you found during your investigation. Floroma grass. I believe it was referred to as. That was also reported to be the key ingredient in Gnosis, was it not? It's always been known that the drug was dangerous, but I'd never imagined it would be linked to something like this. Weren't you also at the police academy during the cult incident, Deputy Commander? That was the first place the CGF attacked. That's right. We were completely blindsided when the brainwashed unit from Belgard Gate attacked. In the end, the academy staff and I couldn't hold them back, and Ernest was sprung from the prison. We figured that was the case. To think a simple flower could not only cause what happened that night, but is also responsible for cryptids appearing in our state. The latter of which is something that presents a clear and present danger to all Crossbellans. The one thing I like about this duology compared to the Sky trilogy is Sky, you got to learn about the Bracer Guild side of things, and now you're seeing everything from a police standpoint and how different it is and how they abide by different laws and that type of thing. Okay, so we got St. Ursula. We got a few places in Crossbell. And then we'll do the Amorica Village one. Alright, we also have to go to the Mishalem Resort too. Any thoughts on what cold steel will be like? I'm not sure what to think cold steel will be like. I know very little about it. All I know is it really takes place in Erebonia. And I know a lot of people are very intrigued to see me play it. That's all I'll say on the matter. Oh, hello there, SSS. Hi, Aeolia. Lynn, what brings you to St. Ursula today? Another bracer request? We're taking a little breather and doing some prep work before we get back to investigating the cryptids. The plan is to check out the sandbar on Ursula Road where you exterminated that one from yesterday. Hopefully we can confirm a connection between the cryptids and those blue flowers that your report mentioned. Oh, and Arios is back to work. He's oh my god, he's going to handle the last cryptid that was assigned to the guild. Good to know. Anything we can lend a hand with? I think we have it under control. Although, I could use some hugs and kisses from Tio to perk me up and give me the strength to fight more big bad cryptids. You will survive. Not again. I'd be more worried about her health if she didn't act this way. In other words, there's nothing to worry about. You guys keep doing what you're doing on your end, and we'll go check out Sandbar. Got it. Good luck, you two, and stay safe out there. You probably won't like this transition from retro style of Sky and Azure to 3D and Cold Steel. I mean, if you guys know me, I love my retro style games. I'm known on Twitch for retro RPGs. It's gonna be a difference. We did do some modern stuff, but people, whenever they introduce me or talk about me, they say retro RPGs.
Unacceptable!
Cold Steel is a ride. Can't say much more than that. I know a lot of people are looking forward to it, Trails, so I'm also looking forward to it. What is unacceptable? What is unacceptable? Unacceptable. Hi, Cecile. Good morning, SSS. Morning, Lloyd. What brings all of you here? Did you want to visit Shizuku? Yes, we did. We're not interrupting you, are we? Oh no, not at all. I just came to tell Shizuku that Michael sent her a letter from Limon State. I was going to ask if she wanted me to read it. Michael, wasn't he the little boy that Dr. Sealand operated on? Isn't that right? Yes, he was also staying on this floor, and we were good friends. We promised to exchange letters with one another when he was discharged. From regular pals to pen pals, eh? It's not uncommon for the hospital to receive letters like this from former patients. Sadly, we're not always able to reply due to the sheer volume of our workloads. However, it's always nice to hear from them. Personally, it re-energizes me when I hear someone is living happy and healthy. That sounds like you, Cecile. I bet you reply to more of them than the rest of the staff. Perhaps I should start writing letters to Martha, too. I'm sure she'd like that. She was so happy after seeing you for the first time in years. It's never too late. You're always welcome to give it a shot. I will think about it once work slows down. Dear Shizuku, how have you been? I'm doing well myself. I've been praying to the goddess for you every single night so that you can see again. He hasn't changed one bit. Uh-huh. It's so good to hear from Michael again. "17 whole months. Wow. That is a long time, Station. Welcome back for another month. I hope you were enjoying your Sunday, sir. You guys know what to do. Get some emotes in there, please. You must adapt for we are in the future. I'll try. I'll try. I mean, after Trails, we're going back to retro. We're doing Lunar. Station, thank you for the 17 whole months, sir. Very much appreciate the support. This damn linen closet. Like, that's all that was locked in here. Three more and you wear the hat. It feels as though the odds of Shizuku recovering her eyesight are as low as ever. However, if the patient hasn't given up, then neither can I. On the Sealand name, I promise to not rest until I find a successful treatment for that girl. Speaking of Sealand, what's up, Sealand? How are you, buddy? Welcome in. Okay. Ooh. So we have that out of the way. Let's go back to Crosswell. Just managed to tweak my shoulder, getting the back deck ready for barbecue. Oof. Put an ice pack on it. Or like a hot water bottle or something. Bam, 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 bam. I have that. Or do what I do. Run a hot bath with some Epsom salts in the water and just relax the soak. Gonna go hop in a hot shower, but wanted to slip in, say hi, and what is the emote? And lurk. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Oh, I should probably exchange because I want to get that thing.
Ferdinand von Ayer.
I am Ferdinand von Ayer. I'll give up 100 of each Sepith. That is all I will give up. Okay, I can still get it. I can still get it. Okay. 2,000. Bam, 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 bam. We appreciate the visit, special support section. However, we regret to inform you that everyone is busy with the dress rehearsal. That makes sense. The show is only a couple of days away. Man, I'd love to sneak a peek right now, but that probably wouldn't be cool of us. Correct. We should leave before we are too much of a distraction. I apologize for coming by unannounced. Okay, we'll try again tomorrow. So we have the back alley, we have the administrative district. An interesting rumor came through my door today. Supposedly, some of the terrorists that managed to escape before were arrested in Altair. The word in the underground is that Hayu was tracking them as well. Hayu was also on board that train? I hadn't noticed them, but it wouldn't surprise me if they were hunting down those terrorists. Oh yeah, we also have the downtown district I have to go to. Melda is using a communication device installed beneath the counter. That damn old man insisting picking up at all. What are you doing, Imelda? Oh, it's you kids. I was trying to contact George to ask him about my new doll. I haven't been able to get through to him all day. He's probably there, but if he's in the middle of work, he won't be answering for a while. George, a new doll. Do you mean the George Rosenberg, the doll maker? Are you acquainted with him, Imelda? Yes, I'm the sales agent for his dolls. Problem is, he's an eccentric old coot. He lacks any flexibility and is too easily annoyed. I never imagined that Imelda would be an acquaintance of his. It seems like a good chance to ask her about his studio. So, what are you kids doing here? Do you need something of me? If it's to buy an antique, you know I'm always ready. Not quite. We'd like to ask you a quick question. Lloyd inquired about Rosenberg Studio and Meister George. Why do you kids want to know about that place? We were just a little curious. Fine then. It isn't as though I know a lot about George myself. They say he's a reclusive doll maker who is both eccentric and reserved. I may be selling his dolls, but I don't know what his deal is. That wasn't any helpful as we were hoping. Well, as long as I'm making a profit from his dolls, I'm happy. I don't know or care about that old coot's private life. Yeah. So much for them being pals. He's just a cash cow to her. Then again, not being too close to each other could be why they remain on good terms. Sounds like our only choice is to visit the man himself. Yeah, you're right. Let's go, guys. Can't believe it's 80,000. 80,000. That's redonkulous. Bum bum. Okay, we got downtown. Rishi is in rehearsal. You talking about that Enigma on display? Watch this. If you hold it to your ear, it's the same as a normal phone. Oh, holy crap, you're right. Oh, hey, don't the bracers and police use these things? Wazzy too, I think. Would you mind us asking how much these would normally sell for, Ashley? On the up and up, I think they go for at least 100,000.
I've just about had enough of you.
Okay. But if you're interested in what I got, I can be a little more flexible. So you guys want it or not? Did I hear 100 in there? Yeah, that'd be like buying 100,000 one 100,000 one mirror chocolates at once. You two sound like someone just read your rights. What's up, Icarus? How are you, buddy? I just couldn't keep myself away. This place's atmosphere is so comfortable and chic. I love it. The Saber Vipers have started looking for Wald. Apparently, no one's seen him for the past few days. Where does a guy like that disappear to? Fair to assume you haven't seen him either, right? Not for a week, no. He hadn't been appearing around the district as often before then, either. I was afraid of that. Do not worry, Wazzy. He has only been gone for a few days. I am sure you have plenty of other things that need your attention. Yeah, I won't deny it. Thanks, Abbas. Two guys from the Saber Vipers came in here yesterday. It looked like they were up to no good and about to start trouble in the neighborhood. Turns out they weren't after a fight, but info about Wald. I can't imagine what Wald is doing to make his guys worry like that. Ashley ordered a lot of my special cocktails. She said when you get past the taste and appearance, they'd be perfect for the battlefield. Oh, wait, is that praise? Anyways, Ashley really liked the cocktails. You could try some too. Brown liquid. Oh. A brown goo one should never touch barehanded. Never. We will save that for desperate times, I think. Desperate times. I was one day away from retirement. Man, I would love to retire. Retire into streaming? Hey, if it was possible, Stormcall, I would. I love doing this. However, it is not feasible.
Here comes a new challenger!
Scott, welcome in. Thank you for the raid. How are you, sir? How was your stream? How are you liking the Somnus Files? We're vibing out to this calm music. But I appreciate the raid. Welcome on in, everybody. If you don't know who I am Jeff. We do a lot of RPGs here on the channel, and we're currently playing through the entire Trails series, the Legend of Heroes series, the Trails games. We're on Trails to Azure. Going into Cold Steel after this. How are you, good sir? How are you? Where do I want to go now? Administrative. We are currently in chapter 3, day 2. It was fun. We do a try co-op stream. Interest. So there's like 3 of you playing it all at once. Is that correct? AI2 is good so far. I've heard good things about the series. I haven't played the first one, but I've seen it's like $10 on the PlayStation Network. I might pick it up. Miranda, hi. How are you? I control it, and Leona and Stephanie tell me what. Like, I gotcha. That's very interesting, actually. I don't have any of that. If you ever played 999, VLR, or Zero Escape, I haven't, but I have seen, I have watched those games being played. It seems like something that I would be interested in. So I should definitely give it a shot. There's just so many games and not enough time. What's up, Mel? Welcome in. How are you? Highly recommend the series. $10 is an absolute steal. Yeah, I seen it on the PSN store. I think it was the other day. I think I'll pick it up before it gets off sale. Page 4 of the information terminal 01 on our order decrypted. Information terminal 01 on our order fully decrypted. Okay. I'm not going to read them all until we actually find them all. Super well done. Nice. We have I'm good for the next year on games. Am I enjoying Azure? I'm loving it. Last night we got the Kia penguin scene. She is absolutely adorable. The game went from here to here because of that. Absolutely adorable. I kind of want to get an emote made for it now. Didn't want to read that. Okay. That's that. I also have my thoughts on Wazzy. So my dog is named Kia, and my friend Stephanie, who joined us today, drew Kia playing with Kia with a penguin toy for me. Oh my lord. That is amazing. That is amazing. I would love to see it. It's the best part of the game. I knew that you could get those scenes by collecting the stuff. Actually, I gotta go and put something in Lloyd's room right now, but oh my lord. But I have my thoughts on Wazzy. He's very secretive on some stuff. But I think I have something nailed down for him. Okay, so I have everything for Lloyd's room now. If Scott does find it, can we get a permit for him? Because if not, the bot will time him out. I finally wrapped up this report. It'd be nice if I can take a quick nap, but I guess that's not happening. Hey, Lloyd. Are you there? Yeah, I am. I think she should have came in with the penguin suit on. Oh, you have new stuff in your room. Oh, hold on, hold on. We're gonna lose sound here for a second. Oh my lord. That is adorable. Hold on. I want to show this off. Yeah. That is freaking adorable. I love it. It is very well done. Your PC wallpaper, nice. Nice. She did an excellent job. The detail, even the blades of grass and like the oh, so good. Think. Okay. It's so good. I kind of want a dog, but I work too many long hours. I'm gone for like 10 hours a day. It's just not feasible. Is that strange? I guess they're not things you'd normally find in someone's room. Yeah. I've made so many concessions to get this pup. I want to get the pup that I would love to get is I'd love to have a corgi, a Welsh corgi, because there's none around my area, but it's just so difficult for my working hours. Like I run an automotive shop, so I'm gone 10 hours a day. I come home and my house is like a sauna in the summer, so it wouldn't be feasible at all. I live through pets vicariously through my sister. My sister has oh, hold on. Are we back? Okay. Yeah. I live vicariously through my sister for pets or for animals. She has a 100-pound lapdog, I'll say. It's a black lab. We think it's a black lab husky mix. Who thinks is a lapdog, and they just recently got 2 little kittens they rescued from our local SPCA. So I'm living vicariously through them. Yes, Zeus also loves to sing. You put on one of the Celine Dion songs, and he'll howl to it. It's adorable. This is the model like the car over there, right? It doesn't look like an orbital airship though. You're right, it's a fictional ship from a graphic novel. It's called an airplane, and it doesn't run on orbital energy. In the story, it can soar in the sky like a bird. Oh, I like to ride it on. Oh my god, I can't talk tonight. I like to ride on sometime. Oh, but you said it was fictional, right? That means it's not real. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's impossible to fly with that orbital energy. Well, it's hard to imagine, but maybe someone out there built something like this before. Oh, hey, what's that then? Oh, that's a mini punching bag. There's a bunch of sand in it, and you can use it to practice punches and kicks. It's not used for real boxing, but it's nice for some light training. Oh, I get it. It's so it doesn't hurt you when you hit it, right? Exactly. She's always catching on quick, doesn't she? I can tell she's getting smarter by the minute. Okay. Kia? Lloyd! I love her. Kia, are you all right? This is so much fun. I love it. Do you now? Now that I think about it, wasn't there one in my brother's room too? It was a lot bigger and heavier, and I remember it hurt a lot when I punched it. In that case, maybe it'd be better if I got the real deal instead. Hey Lloyd, can I play with this when you aren't home? It's perfect for practicing my tackles with. Okay, as long as you don't hurt yourself, okay? Guess I'll keep it for a little while longer. Absolutely adorable. I will say there is a flickering issue with this game for anybody who has come in or anybody new here. I have tried everything in my power to have it not flicker. I just have to live with it. Wrong area. Wrong area. I wanted to come back here. Just starts chapter 1 of 3 hopes. Wasn't expecting like that at all. Cardboard's been playing three hopes lately. He's been loving it. Hi everyone. Reading a book, Kia? Sure am. I'm looking for something that will cheer up Shizuku. Which one should I pick? This book looks pretty interesting. Wait, that shelf is part of the Braille corner, isn't it? Kia, are you able to read Braille? Yep. Is that a big deal? A big deal? Someone help me out because I don't even know where to begin with this one. Did they teach you that in Sunday school? Nope, I picked it up while I was hanging out with Shizuku. Did you know that Mark and the Witch of the Deep Forest has a Braille version too? It made it a lot easier to pick up. I get that reading a book you're already familiar with would help, but still. Having uncanny comprehension skills is hardly out of the ordinary for our Kia. Adorable. My warrior's muscle memory still remains. Nice. I adore Warriors games. I've been playing them for 20 years. Nice. I was gonna ask you how far you think you are, but I know you ran into a bit of a turn there the other night, Cardboard. How many Trails games are you going through, and how many are left? So we've done the Trail in the Sky trilogy, so that's the first 3. We've done Trails from Zero. We're doing Trails to Azure. That's the cross-build duology. So this is the 5th game in the Trails series. There's 4 more left with a Western release, which is the Cold Steel series. Then I'm gonna wait for River A to come out in the West. That should be next year. Kuro and Kuro 2 are in Japan. Kuro 2 is being released, I think, in September. They don't have a Western state to release yet. The story is still ongoing, Joey. I think I read an article saying they're about 70% complete with the games. So there's going to be more than 10 games in the whole franchise. $70. 70. Not 17. Can you imagine if it was only 17%? Where's Duddles? Duddles. There's no Duddles. I was just wondering what you had in mind for After Trails, but that's probably too far off. No. Exclamation point upcoming. We'll tell you what we have in store for After Trails. Maybe he's in here. Are you in here, Duddles? No. Okay. We won't worry about this. We're gonna make progress here tonight. We're trying to make progress. So we go to our notebook. Yeah, I gotta get some HD Retrovision cables. And then we'll have nice, crisp gameplay. Tapuya delivery service. We're saving that for last. Temporary theme park. We'll do the Mishi one. We'll do the theme park. Been quite a while now, but I adore Lunar 2. I have the collector's edition for it. The only thing I'm missing is the box. The next cruise ship bound for Mishalem will soon be departing. Would-be passengers, please be sure to board quickly. It looks like the flickering is still happening. Yeah, I didn't have a chance to do anything today, Zero, because I had real life stuff to do. Get it from Neil? No, I did not. Actually, I bought it from the place from YesBuy, actually. One of our support requests came from the theme park, didn't it? You're right. It was something about helping Mishi. I wonder exactly what that will entail. If it is for Mishi, we should not delay. I think we all know where Teotot's loyalty lies. Something tells me this is going to be a fun one. We shouldn't head to Mishalem unless we're absolutely ready to begin that request. Should we get going? Yes. All right, let's go there now. Lloyd and the others then boarded the cruise ship bound for Mishalem. After arriving, they made their way to the front gate of the theme park where the client was waiting. This isn't good. The entire morning schedule might get thrown off by this. Excuse us. We're the CPD Special Support Section. Would you happen to be Hanks? We're here for the request you submitted. Oh, that's right. You're the SSS. Let's see. Yes. It's going to fit you perfectly. It. We're a little confused. Would you mind explaining the details of your request? Oh, how careless of me. My apologies. I'm sure you're all familiar with our park's mascot, Mishi, yes? No breathing soul knows more. Theotot here has a bit of an obsession. But yeah, we know him. Not like you can live in Crossbell for very long without seeing that furry guy. Does Mishi have something to do with your request? It just so happens he does. The thing is, we received some bad news this morning. The actor who portrays Mishi since the park's opening called in sick. Mishi's sick? Is he going to be okay? Yeah, I think so. He said it was a stomach ache. The plan is for him to be prescribed some medicine at St. Ursula and make it back to work as soon as he's able. If all goes well, he'll be back in action sometime this afternoon, but that leaves the problem of the morning performance. That's where you come in. I need someone to don the fur and be Mishi's stand-in for the morning. Oh my lord. Mishi's stand-in? Hey, that sounds pretty fun. Alright, where do I get Yeah, no. You're far too tall to fit into the costume. I think your pal here, with the serious expression on his face, will be perfect. Me? Oh, come on! I was gonna put on the pussycat costume to fish for... Damn you, Lloyd. It's not my fault. Randy was going to fish in the Mishi costume? Oh no, you poor, poor innocent soul. So, do you think you can do it? Well, we didn't come all this way for nothing. I accept. It's always Lloyd's fault. It is. Phew, I owe you one. Then, if you're ready, let's get started. Tio, is there something wrong? You've been very quiet for the last few minutes. Costume, actor, stomach ache, medicine. What's gotten into Tio? All of this might be more than she can handle. I'd be very careful with the next words you say. I'll do what I can. Hey, Tio? Do not mind me. Mishi needs us. I will do whatever I can to help. That's the spirit, Teotot. Is she really okay? What kind of conclusion did she come to? Everything settled? All right, let me guide you to the locker room. Sure, lead the way. Temporary theme park job started. Oh, Lord. Is this the Tio Santa moment? I don't know. We're gonna see if she got to sit on Lloyd's lap. But well, how do I look? Cute, actually. Yeah, it suits you. Well, it is a full bodysuit, Noel. How does it feel? Looks like it could get hot in there. I'm sure it will. I've worn more breathable outfits, to say the least. Luckily, the height is right. It feels a bit loose, though, so it's a little weird to move in. You're already going to be sweating in the costume, so don't go and sweat the small stuff, too. Still, I bet it's going to be nice, having all those Mishi fangirls fawning all over you. I'm not doing this to hit on girls, you know. And speaking of fangirls, where did Teal run off to? Now that you mention it, I saw her speaking with the staff member before walking off somewhere. Sorry for the wait. Damn it. Oh my lord. She's like, I can't have Lloyd have all the attention. I must be me shit. I heard sweat in the costume. This is the best I can do. Anybody who's new to the channel, this is our lovely goose hat. Become the Mishi, Jeff, become the Mishi. It is your destiny. I don't know about that. Enjoy some head sweat. I have AC on, so it's okay. What the? Is that you, Tio? Mihihi. My name is Michette. Don't tell me my older brother has forgotten my vase. You gotta be kidding me. You look so cute, Tio. Isn't this character the one that likes to play hide and seek? Yes, this is Mishi's little sister, Michette. She is a vibrant girl who is always looking out for her clumsy older brother. By clumsy, does she mean Mishi or me? Yeah, we met her when we came to the Michelle in Wonderland. She came up to me asking if she could help by playing the part of Michette. Technically, the regular Michette's shift doesn't start until later, so I thought, what the hey? So that's where she went. Wait, I help out, do you mean? Yes, my intention is to supervise Lloyd's Mishi routine. And for every blunder he makes, his shins will rue the day. Oh no. What an adoring little sister you have, Mishi. Please show me mercy. Wait, supervise? Shouldn't you be the one giving me acting directions? Sorry, but we're short on time. It's almost time for Mishi's tour around the park. Listen, if you just think about what Mishi would do and do the same yourself, I'm sure it'll work out. That doesn't make me feel any better. Remember that at the end of your morning tour, you're scheduled to do a Mishi dance in the main plaza. That one, you get a manual for. Skim it and remember what you can. Lloyd and the others read the dance manual. Dance with passion and pizzazz. Don't forget to close on Mishi's signature catchphrase. Make a wishy with Mishi. Well, that's helpful. Catchphrase aside, the passion and pizzazz part is a little vague. To tell you the truth, we generally left Mishi's characterization with the patrons up to the actors. For the entire history of this park, we've never needed a written manual until today. So if you make a mistake, you make a mistake. Don't let it get you down too much. On the contrary, I am the one supervising, and I will not tolerate mistakes. I wish they hadn't given you that costume. Oh, it's showtime. Let's wrap this up so you can get out there. All right. The rest of us will pass time in the park. Best of luck, you two. It is time to prove yourself, Lloyd. Yeah, sure thing. I don't know how I'm going to pull this one off. I guess I'll just have to channel my inner Mishi. There's also that catchphrase, make a wishy with Mishi. I better not forget it. All right, get out there and make those kids' wishies come true. I'm counting on you, Mishi and Michette. Oh boy. Oh boy. Well, here goes nothing. I hope this turns out all right. Look alive. Here comes our first patron. Of course she goes to the hives. Wow, it's Mishi. Look, the real life Mishi. Well, what do you know? It is him. Settle down. Thank you for the follow. I very much appreciate that. Follows are anonymous, by the way. If you don't pace yourself, you're going to tire out before we see all of the attractions. He was just in it for the costume, pretty much, yep. Yay, Mishi Mishi! Let me think. How would Mishi normally respond to a situation like this? Mihihi, have fun, all right? I will, thanks, Mishi. Dad, let's hurry inside. Oh, all right, all right. Today is going to be a wonderful. Did I do a good job? Good work, Lloyd. Your me-hee-hee was on point. With a thanks, though it's not the easiest thing to do without getting embarrassed. Me-hee-hee. Ahem. You will get used to it. Wow, Tio. You're a pro. That was unusually cute coming from her. Keep up the good work. You are one with the Mishi. Hey Noel, Wazzy. If it isn't the special support section's dynamic sibling duo. Thank goodness you're here, Lloyd. I have an urgent progress report to file. The second I take my eyes off Wazzy, he immediately runs away to get on the park's rides. Don't be such a cop. It's not like I'm going to burn the park down. Where's the harm in a little bit of fun while we patrol? Wazzy, we are the cops. Ones that are on duty. Speaking of duty, children are approaching, Lloyd. It's Mishi. Ah, and Michette is here too. Welcome in, your boy, Heavy. My hide and seek skills need work. Super kick. Oh my lord. Wait, no. Oh wait, why would you kick Mishi? Haven't you heard? Anyone who kicks Mishi is lucky. They say the luck powers are stored in his butt and you gotta kick him out. But I'm not even the real Mishi. I wonder if it works on Michette too. I need to do something. What would Mishi do? Tickle them? Mishi has a way of defeating himself with kicks. It's this! Wow, Mishi's famous Mish defense. Run away! Oh god. That'll show him. I didn't expect kicking to be part of the job too. Oh yeah, that has been one of the park's recent fads. Them's the breaks? Did I handle that okay? I was just making it up as we went along. It was fine. That was a flawless performance compared to yelling at them. Mishi is kind and gentle being. Driving them away by force would have been unacceptable. Your judgment served you well, Lloyd. Thanks, I try. I'm glad they didn't kick Tio too. Should we add sister complex to Lloyd's growing list of tastes? Mishi and Michette are the siblings, not us. Besides, I have heard that Mishi's butt is built to resist kicking. It hurt less than you expected it to, did it not? Hey, yeah, you're right. There must be padding down there. I guess Mishi is thicker than I knew. It is time for us to go to the next area, Lloyd. Do not forget how tight the morning schedule is. Right, I won't. We'll see you later, guys. Knock 'em dead, Lloyd and TL. All right, back to sneaking off to rides. At least he admits it. Oh, hey guys. Good work out there, superstar. You two look like you've been giving it your all. How would you say it's been going thus far? It's a little harder than I imagined. It gets really hot in inside this costume. We are not taking a comfortable stroll around the park right now, Lloyd. You should act as friendly as possible while giving the impression that patrons are lucky to have seen you. Right, I'll try my best. When it comes to Tio and Mishi, there's no room for error, is there? Best to do what you can to keep up, Lloyd, or else Teotot's gonna have you crucified in front of the horror coaster. Ah, it's Mishi! And she runs off. Hey, you're right. How lucky of us to see him right after coming from the Ferris wheel. Let's get a picture. He's so cute. Sure thing. Let's do it. Excuse me. Do you think you could take a picture for us? I'd love to. Picture? What should I do in this situation? Take the picture. stand between them? Today will go down as the day we finally met Mishi. Nice to have finally met you, meet you, Mishi. Ready whenever you are. Say cheese. Thanks for all the help. Yep, thanks a ton. Thank God. The hat can come off. Although it's not too bad when I got the AC on. This one. Here you are. You're welcome. Did I do okay? That was perfect, Lloyd. Remember that Michi is the idol of the theme park. He in and of himself is a walking attraction. In such cases, the proper course of action is to be impartial and stand directly between the guests. It is good to see you so quickly taking the way to the ways of the Mish. Thanks, I think. Well, as long as you have Tio with you, I think you'll be fine. Good luck, you two. We'll be keeping an eye on you. Have fun on your date, and we'll have fun on ours. No, we will not. Come on, it was just a joke. You could at least let me buy you a Bell Cola. Alright, let's try not to let them or anyone else down. Yes, to the next location. And Randy needs to stay away from Ellie. Sorry to keep you waiting, everyone. This is the moment you've all been waiting for. Mishi and Michette are going to do the Mishi dance. Yay, Mishi. They're so cute. Here we go, the dance routine. I'm starting to tense up. What's up, Jordan? How are you, buddy? Welcome in. It will be fine. The Mishi dance is usually improvised anyway. There are some guidelines, but I am sure you will manage if you use common sense. Guidelines, huh? That's right. I was given a note about that before the job. I could just remember what it said. Okay, everyone, all together now. Mishi and Michette, take us home. Here we go. Are you ready, Tio? Let's dance with passion and pizzazz. Roger. I feel like we're doing a Mario.
Roger.
I feel like we're doing a Mario level. And now Mishi's catchphrase. Let's dance and make a wishy with Mishi. Make a wishy with Mishi. I knew you could do it, Lloyd. You have reached Mishlightenment. Lloyd and Tio's passionate dance brought the show to a successful close. Lloyd took pride in the fact that he was able to say goodbye to the park goers and make their wishes come true. Afterward, he and Tio went to the rest area together. Phew, I think we managed to pull that one off. Well done. Dancing in a mascot costume can be quite difficult. You can say that again. I'm burning up in here. How does the normal guy do this every day? He's something else. Perhaps so. Hey, Mishi and Michette. Great sermon. We did it. We were one with the Mishi. Oh, it's you, Hanks. Good job out there, kids. You did great. The park goers can't get enough of you. They can't stop talking about Michette. Are you serious? Yeah, they're saying the way she's so cool when around Mishi is irresistible. Maybe we should sit down and rethink Michette's entire character. Really now. Ahem. I am happy to help. By the way, have you heard back from the usual actor? Oh, I almost forgot. He just came in a little while ago. He said he wanted to meet you and that he'll be waiting in the locker room when you get back. Thanks again for all your help. It's not much, but I hope you'll accept this. A Michette doll? We'll gladly take it. Thanks, Hank. Ready to head back inside, Tio? I am. Come on, Hanks. You gotta let Tio keep that costume. I mean, wouldn't that be amazing? Tio in the Michette costume. And Kia in the penguin costume. Ultimate cuteness. Michette modes disengaged. I am drenched in sweat. I think that was the most I've ever seen you give a support. My God. Nice work, Tio. Perhaps, but your Mishing was superb, Lloyd. It was an honor to share the Mishi dance with you. Come on. You're going to make me blush. Anyway, I think it's about time we rejoin the others. Is the regular Mishi actor still not here yet? Now that you mention it, I think he is late. Sorry to keep you kids waiting, kids. Interview passed. Lloyd is hired. Apparently. What the? Excuse me. The pills I've been taking don't work unless I have them after a meal. I skipped breakfast, so I had to down a lunch that like you wouldn't believe. So is my costume in that locker? What? What are you looking at me like that for? Wait, I've seen your faces somewhere before. Well, whatever. I owe you kids big time. You can't have Mishalem Wonderland without Mishi after all. Thanks for filling in, my man. Oops, look at the time. I've got to get changed and get out there for the afternoon shift. Dream shattered, Tio. Transformation complete. Thanks again, Mr. and Missy. You saved my fur. You can leave the rest to me. Me hee hee. See you later. Oh, what a pro. His voice totally changed the second he put it on. That's the real Mishi. But when he's not in costume, he couldn't be more different. I feel like we had just uncovered one of Crossbell's dirtiest secrets. So, anyway, let's go meet up with the others, shall we? Tio is not impressed. Tio's definitely not impressed. Dreams just poof shattered.
Unacceptable!
It is! Yes, exactly. Exactly, it is unacceptable. Hey Lloyd, something happened to Tio Tot? She's been like that ever since we got back on the cruise ship. You're right. It's like she's completely staring off into space. I believe that is the look of desolation. But well, let's just say she's been through a lot today. Tio, are you sick? Should we take you to see a doctor? No, I am fine. I was simply confused. But I believe I have now sorted out my feelings. So, this is how I climbed the ladder of adulthood. Quest, temporary theme park job completed. I have to see. I have to see. Was that a decoration for here? No, this one. It was! A new decoration was added to Tio's room. I skipped a few steps there. We all have to grow up someday. We do. Hey Tio, you got a minute? I do. You may come in, Lloyd. Is it time to depart? We don't have to just yet. It's not like we got any new requests or anything. The others are also still doing their own thing, so there's no hurry. Very well. I am ready whenever all of you are. Say, it looks like you've gotten some new decorations for your room. Yes, I have been building quite the collection. Crossbell has a significant advantage over neighboring countries when it comes to collectibles. Well, this is Mishi's hometown, isn't it? And thanks to Mishal in Wonderland, his influence is spreading into other countries. That reminds me, that pink Mishi's name is Michette, right? That's his little sister? Correct. She is a perfect little sister character who watches over her helpless big brother. She has many layers to her. Does she now? How many layers could a palette swap of Mishi possibly have? Well, what about that black cat over there? He has the same design as your cushions. Is he related to Mishi? That would be Kagamaru. He is the protagonist's cat from a well-liked novel series. Kagamaru's bold cuteness and signature yawn have seen his popularity soar. You don't say. Actually, I'm pretty sure I've seen him offered as a prize in the casino. To be honest, I've never really understood his or Mishi's appeal. Neither are what I would call cute. I forget I said anything. I do understand what you mean though. His charm is more on the unique side. The selling point is mainly from his troubled-looking face. Kagamaru is more of an atypical mascot whose dour disposition makes him more endearing to fans. Naturally, neither fits the conventional wisdom of what someone would call cutesy. I guess I hadn't put that much thought into what it is that people find charming about them. On that note, Tio, which one do you prefer? Do you have a favorite? Now you have done it. What? I have been avoiding this topic for far too long. I will run no more. Tio? You're starting to scare me. After tonight's dinner, we will revisit this discussion. Put a pot of coffee on, then Lloyd. We will be up all night hashing out this topic. But the book I was going to catch up on, and my poor sleep schedule. Oh God. Okay. That's a lot of... Oh boy, that's a lot. Okay. What's up, Sly Gamer? Welcome in. Happy Sunday. Next on our docket, Suspicious Merchant. I think we're going to walk. I just want to see if I can do the whole mob thing with this side again. No, okay. Moving on. If we could have done the mob thing, I would have walked. Ride in car. Mishi says hurry it up with the court request. No. Good old Mishi. I get this? I did. Okay. Maybe he's up here. I'm expecting an important guest today. Please leave me be. Where do I gotta go? I feel like this is a Grinch moment, you know, when he yells into the cave. I'm an idiot. You're an idiot. I'm an idiot. Any recipes missed? I don't know. I think I've got every one so far. I'm missing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Missing 6. No, because I had some of these before. Hayworth residence. I think it's this one. No, next one. Next one. Should have known because he has the car. Pardon us, it's a special support section. Hello again, SSS. Thank you for stopping by. Yes, I'm glad you've come. Can you tell us what's happened since yesterday, Chief Tolta? I understand there have been new developments in the case. Yes, that's correct. I fear the situation is more dire than we had originally thought. I'd like to discuss it with you all in depth as soon as possible. Is that all right? Sure. Right now is fine. Please fill us in on the details. You said there were new developments? Indeed. I went to Ash Tree Inn to attempt to persuade Derek once again. I told him that he needs to break ties with Mineth because he's far too suspicious. So you cut straight to the point. Right, but he still refused. In fact, I learned something new. I hurried here to discuss the matter with Mr. Hayworth. Something new? We were able to ascertain Mineth's plan? What Chief Tolta told me caught me off guard, to be honest. Mineth's grip on the village is far tighter than we had imagined. What do you mean by that? From what we learned yesterday, several villagers did already trust him. Is it more than that? Well, Mineth has not only secured the private property on Old Armorica Road, but the deed to every last plot of land in the village itself. He what? As shocking as that is, one question comes to mind. How was he able to snatch something so important? A good question. From what we know, he's planning something that calls for expanding into the village's lotus fields. The more plots of land he collects from villagers, the more he can expand the lotus fields and increase the harvests. Quincy Company taking over the management of the fields themselves would also reduce the required labor. That does line up with what we heard yesterday. It sounded like a good thing for the village, but we didn't realize what the sacrifice would be. Yeah, it's all too good to be true. If Mineth had his hands on those land titles, he could have used them in any way he wanted. The man cannot be trusted. If he had stopped with our private property, then even the worst case scenario wouldn't have caused too much damage. Now that he's using every plot of land, the result could be catastrophic. You guys might be shit out of luck when it comes to breaking that contract, though. Here's where you come in. If you can expose him, then perhaps the contract will be null and void. I know that nothing criminal has transpired here on the surface, but we can still ask you to look into it. Well, the SSS always has been a little different as far as the CPD protocol is concerned. Our job is to give citizens support when they request it. You've given enough reason to see Mineth as suspicious, so we're willing to help. Thank you, Detective Bannings. You all have been like guardian angels for our village. Where should we begin with the investigation, Lloyd? I'm at a bit of a loss myself. Exactly. It's not as though there's a smoking orbital gun. True. In that case, why not ask Ian for assistance? Do you mean Mr. Grimwood? Yes, granted, we're only working off suspicions of Mineth at the moment. But if you explain the situation to Ian, he may be able to point you to the evidence you're looking for. This sounds like a good idea. If we can produce even a shred of evidence against Mineth, then it'll act as a good starting point for the investigation. On the other hand, Ian has been incredibly busy ever since the mayor advocated for independence. There's no guarantee he'll have time to see you. Only one way to find out. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Yeah, let's go pay him a visit. We'll leave it to you then. I'll see if my business associates know any rumors regarding the Quincy Company or Mineth. We would appreciate that. Thank you, everyone. You're the only ones I can count on. I feel pathetic not being able to do anything. Don't worry, Chief Tolda. We'll handle it from here. Just sit tight and relax. Maybe pray to the goddess for a good luck while you're at it. Okay, I'll be waiting for you. Ugh. All right. Onward. Throw a couple of links out there. Twitter, where I'd be fairly sociable on there, and also YouTube, where I'm uploading all of my VODs. Starting tomorrow, we will be uploading our first VOD of Trails in the Sky, the third. So the idea is to catch up with current content. So I'm going to be uploading a fair bit to catch up. Mr. Grimwood, what a relief you are in your office. Ah, yes. I was just in the middle of taking a break. You all seem in desperate need of a consultation. Is it that obvious? I've seen those looks on your faces come through my door countless times. Please take a seat. I may be busy, but I'll gladly listen to you. Our apologies, and thank you. Lloyd and the others explained what they learned about Mineth in the last 24 hours, along with what he'd done. They also mentioned that Mineth had been collecting deeds to Armorica Village's plots of land. I see. This is quite the predicament the village finds itself in. A case like this one would typically take top priority for me. But as you all know, I've been busy this week drafting the preliminary constitution for the mayor. I apologize that I don't have the time to take over this case personally. That is unfortunate. We suspected that would be the case, but a simple consultation would still be helpful. Very well. I'll give you any advice I can while you're here. We appreciate it, Mr. Grimwood. So, do you have any insight on this? There's no evidence of Mineth doing anything criminal at this point, at least as far as we can tell. Is there something we're missing? I do have one idea. You already figured something out? Perhaps. An Erebonian friend gave me some reference material that had a very similar case. Though I can't say the circumstances are an exact match. How are you working at the side quest, Jeff? A guide or just grabbing what comes to you? I'm grabbing what comes to me. So, Jordan, the way I play all of my playthroughs is I play them completely blind. So I don't know anything. I just run into stuff as I find it. So if I end up missing something, then it's on me. I don't like anything being said like, oh, just go here, or you missed this, or you know, if I miss something in a playthrough, it's on me. I had someone come into stream when we were doing Sky FC, and I just finished the game, and there's a bracer request at the end of the game after you finish it, and someone told me about it while I was going around Gransel, and because they told me, I refused to do it. Like, I don't like missing stuff, but at the same time too, that's what second playthroughs are for. When we do second playthroughs of these games, if I do miss something, well, or if I try to miss something, then yeah, I don't mind it being told to me. But first playthroughs, I'm very strict on stuff when it comes to first playthroughs. We're looking for any lead that could help us in this investigation. If you think there's any similarity, we'd be happy to hear it. Go get over that barrier, Jeff. I'm trying. Very well, if you insist. I'll recall it the best I can. Several years ago, a man visited an Erebonian baron's estate. The man went by the name of Rittner. He introduced himself as a professional businessman working for a famous brewing company. Rittner presented the Baron with an opportunity to become rich beyond his wildest dreams. Quickly, at that. He wanted to use the Baron's barley fields that had been passed down in his family for generations to expand the brewing company. They would construct a brewery on the Baron's land, and his family would be responsible for managing the brewery. That was the idea. That sounds a lot like... Every story beat is awfully similar to what's happening in Armorica. The Baron accepted the deal and signed Rittner's contract. Then, under the guise of constructing the brewery, the fields and the portion of the Baron's land were temporarily transferred to Rittner. Additionally, the Baron converted his assets into capital for the sake of getting the business off the ground. However, Rittner disappeared with both the deeds to the land and that capital. The hell? The Baron's family were in a panic after having suddenly lost contact with Rittner. At the time, the Baron had hardly any idea of the events that were about to unfold. Ultimately, they learned Rittner had sold the deeds to a third party. The Baron's land was to become a suburb. In the end, the Baron's family racked up a substantial debt. Before long, they had lost their entire territory. With that, the family was stripped of their rank and they disappeared. Damn, that's one hell of a story. That man conned them into giving up their property and then sold it right under their noses. Thank you for the follow. I very much appreciate it. Shower and Tylenol treatment seems to be at least calming the shoulder down. Food cooked and consumed, and now to get a few minutes of relaxation in before I start prepping meat for the smoker tomorrow. Welcome back, Ceylon. How are you, sir? That's terrible. Who would do such a thing? Your investigation immediately reminded me of that case. lie to earn their trust, and then run off with a large fortune. It is a common method for committing fraud. Fraud? If this case is the same, then Mineth may not be a Quincy Company employee at all. He would simply be a con man trying to swindle America for all they are worth. Precisely. I cannot say that it is the case, though. I am worried it may be. I agree. There are too many similarities between your story and this case we're investigating. We need to shift our focus to this being a potential fraud case. Meaning we have more leads on the kind of things we should be looking for. Yeah, there are two things that are highly suspicious about Mineth. First, the promise of his plan. We need to find out if he's done anything to establish the American Honey Company or not. We could probably figure that out by following the trail of Mira. You'd have to get a bank loan to start a business in Crossbell. If that's all a sham, then the evidence we need may be at the IBC. The other main thing is whether Mineth is really an employee of the Quincy Company. Quincy Company headquarters aren't in Crossbell, so that'll be a little tougher to figure out. Regarding that, I may be able to help. We should try visiting Grandfather's home. Why the McDowell estate? There should be a brochure about the Quincy Company in my old bedroom. It outlines how the company works. We may be able to find some useful information in it. What's something like that doing in your old crib, Mademoiselle? Because I enjoy making sweets, okay? I used to be interested in the Quincy Company, so I ordered one of their brochures. It should be on my shelf in my room. Then again, I doubt a simple brochure would have the kind of information we need. I wouldn't discount the possibility so easily. It's official Quincy Company material. You may be able to find something contradictory to what Mineth said. It never hurts to cover all of your bases. I agree. Let's make a point to drop by the McDowell estate too. Thank you for the inevitable advice, Mr. Grimwood. Our investigation finally has leads thanks to you. I'm glad I was able to be of some use. You said you were using the Hayworth residence as a base of operations, yes? Yeah, we are. If I have the time, I'll help with this case as much as I'm able. Unfortunately, given the other tasks on my plate, I cannot make any promises. We understand. You've already helped us immensely. It's nice having a professional in the neighborhood we can lean on. I'll do what I can to drop by later, so best of luck in your investigation until then. Sounds good. Thanks again. Okay, are you all ready to get back out there? We need to look into our America Honey Company and Mineth's plan at the IBC for one. It would also be a good idea to swing by the McDowell estate for that brochure Ellie mentioned. It may state something that contradicts Mineth. There are also two objectives for the investigation. Roger. We'll find the evidence no matter what it takes. Functioning? At least you're functioning. All right, we have reached the 2-hour mark, so I'm going to grab a drink, take a quick washroom break. If you have to do the same, please do so, and I will be back in a couple of minutes. Did you know that we are doing a giveaway for a Steam copy of Trails from Zero when it's released in September? Exclamation point giveaway and exclamation point rules in order to figure out what to do. Basically, you accumulate currency. Mira. Or not Mira. I've been listening to Neo too much. You crystals in chat. It's 10,000 crystals per ticket. You can get a maximum of 20 tickets. You can gain crystals by being in chat using the gamble system. And the like. Giveaway will be drawn on the end of September. You must be in chat in order to claim your prize. Poor cardboard. Welcome in, Arrow. How are you? You guys are Sealan, thank you for the host. You also gain crystals by forms of hosts, bits and subs as well. Not too bad, just relaxing, lurking and watching. Well, I appreciate you being here. Always a pleasure to see new people here. We are very lurk friendly, so enjoy. What's the jackpot up to now? My lizard brain. Oh, someone just lost, so if I gamble all, chances are I might win. Hey, Dragon, you should gamble everything. It'll be fine. You'll win. Let's see. Oh, here it is. How does one win the jackpot? So basically, you have to roll 100 on your gamble. This is the Quincy Company brochure I mentioned earlier. Phew, the thing's even bound. I put a ton of effort into it, that's for sure. Considering the size of the company, they have the ability to do so. We can likely trust anything written inside. Well, at least it's worth coming here for then. All right, let's take a closer look at what's inside. Guess I need crystals for that again. You gain, I think you gain crystals every, I can't remember if it's every 2 or every 5 minutes. As a leading company in the confectionery industry, the Quincy Company is tirelessly innovating the world of confectionaries. This brochure aims to provide a brief introduction to our passion and hard work. We believe the foremost aspect of any confectionery is its taste. For if a treat isn't tasty, why would anyone enjoy it? On this principle, the Quincy Company refuses to compromise on the quality of our products. Our factories are equipped with the latest equipment, and naturally, we pay the utmost attention to hygiene. At the Quincy Company, we are particular about the quality of our ingredients and where they are sourced. Our standards for product development is also strict. The executives sample development products and, after many planning meetings, judge whether they are worthy of being brought to the market. Only then will they go to the production line. This has been a tradition of the Quincy Company since its founding, so that we may deliver our customers only the best confectionaries to enjoy. It is this tradition and commitment to excellence that has made the Quincy Company a confectionery maker that we are today. I'm not sure what we were expecting. It reads like a typical corporate talk. Is there anything in there that contradicts what Minith has said before? Maybe coming here for this brochure was a waste of time after all. No, I did notice something. You did? Oh, I know what's going on. You enter in detective mode again, aren't you? Well, don't leave us hanging. What was it? On the surface, everything Minith told us at the hotel yesterday was fairly acceptable and nothing would arouse suspicious. But according to this brochure, there's one major contradiction. What's more is that it's enough to prove he isn't employed by the Quincy Company. You came to a conclusion that big from this one little brochure? That I did. Get a load of this. Sorry to cut you off, but I hate spoilers. What are you talking about? To be honest, it's annoying that you're the only one who figured it out. Why don't we save it for when we question Minith? Wazzy, this is an investigation, not a game. This is why I like Wazzy. I agree with Wazzy, actually. Your deduction may not be accurate after all. It would be better if the team was not prejudiced by your opinion as a precaution. Not to mention, I do not enjoy you stealing the spotlight when you enter detective mode, as Randy put it. Why do I get the feeling that second comment was the real reason she doesn't want me to share? Okay, if you two insist. Instead, I want you all to consider everything we know thus far. I'll summarize the main points of the brochure in the detective notebook. All that's left is to visit the IBC. Let's see what our investigation there gets us. Lead the way. Save it for when the game prompts you with a choice, basically, yeah. Basically. Hello again, SSS. What can I do for you today? We'd like to ask for the IBC's cooperation with an investigation we're working on. Would it be possible for you to do an account search for us, Lanfei? We're looking to investigate suspicious Mira transfers made by a certain account. Suspicious Mira transfers? It is within company policy if it's related to a criminal investigation. First, would you mind telling me the details of this investigation? Not a problem. Lloyd explained the full details behind the suspected fraud case to Lanfei. I understand now. Is that enough for the IBC's cooperation? Cracking down on cases like this is in the IBC's best interest too, isn't it? Fraud damages the bank's reputation. You are correct, and this is related to a legitimate criminal investigation. I can help, but you'll have to settle for me simply telling you what I can read on my terminal screen. That's more than enough, if you would please. Very well. Let me find an account registered under the name Minith first. America Honey Company, subsidiary of the Quincy Company. I found it. There's indeed an account under that name. Wait, what's wrong? Did you find something wrong with the account? Well, I couldn't typically tell you the exact balance on the account. However, the America Honey Company only has the bare minimum balance deposited to it. What exactly does that mean? Basically, corporate accounts require a minimum amount of capital simply to be open. In this case, the minimum deposit is all that's in the account. From what you told me, that would mean tens of thousands of Mira is missing. There is the construction of the factory, management of the fields, and more to cover. It is simply impossible for any minimum deposit to be able to cover all of it. That much is clear. There hasn't been a single change in the account despite him holding the land title and having several deals. It's certainly suspicious. As in, I suspect the only reason this account was made was to gain Derek's trust. And it worked. This is just the kind of evidence we needed. Thank you for all your help, Lanfei. I'm glad I could be of assistance. You always know where to find me if you need the IBC's cooperation again. We'll never forget. Okay, we now have enough material that covers every suspicious aspect of Mineth. We should return to the Hayworth residence. Got it. Bum, bum, bum. Residential district. Unpatriotic are Armoricans, and on the 4th of July to boot. Wow. What's up, Derailment? Oh, look, we got Ian here. Mr. Grimwood. There you are. So, you've returned. Good to see you made it, Mr. Grimwood. I see you've returned too, Mr. Hayworth. Yes, I just finished asking my business associates about the situation. How did things go on your end? We were able to figure out a bit thanks to Mr. Grimwood. How about you, Mr. Hayworth? Likewise. I'm not quite sure what to make of it, though. You went through the trouble of digging that info up, so you may as well share with the rest of the class. Agreed. This information may assist with our investigation. I suppose you're right. I asked my business associates if the name Mineth rang any bells. I've been informed that Mineth has been researching a certain market ever since arriving in Crossbell, which would be the price of land in various locations throughout Crossbell. The price of land? He sounds more like a real estate agent at this point. What would a Quincy Company employee need with that information? This may be a piece of the puzzle for Mineth's intent. Really? Yes, I suspected as much. I may have also discovered something useful since we saw each other. Huh? Harold, Tolta, would you help me find something in my office? At your office, Ian? I don't mind, but is it important? Well, it's not good enough to prove anything. However, we can consider it insurance to nail Mineth for his misdeeds. You really got something like that up your sleeve, Grizzly Grim? Possibly, but we may not make it in time. I would recommend you don't wait for us. I think you ought to get to Armorica Village as quickly as you can. If Mineth is the criminal we think he is, then his plan may have already advanced to the final stages. However, I'm confident you'll solve the case with the evidence on hand. I wish you all the best of luck. Got it. Thanks, Mr. Grimwood. We're off to Armorica Village, guys. We'll reveal Mineth's true colors and stop him dead in his tracks. Right. To the Mishi car. To the Mishi car. Yes, the Mishi mobile. There we go. Nice, Sealand. Nice. That's what we will call it. The Mishi mobile. Damn it. Are we too late? You six again. The special support section. We have a few questions for you, Derek. Mineth. What kind of deal were you hoping to strike today? Meddling in my affairs on my father's behalf again, are you? Please, Derek. There's no harm in answering their questions. After all, our plan will soon set into motion very soon. What's that supposed to mean? Right before you arrived, Derek and I finished signing the required paperwork. My company will expand its operations into Lotus Fields I obtained from this village. The Quincy Company will then take over management of the village's fields. What? You signed away the rights to almost all of the village's agriculture. Is this really what you want, Derek? What do you mean? Nothing is changing. I'm just transferring management of the fields to him. Yes, of course. It really is simple. With my company harvesting the honey, we'll be able to streamline the production of our candy. A temporary transfer of the land's rights to my company is a necessary first step that will smooth the process. What a crafty bastard. His plan has reached its final phase, which means... Well then, Derek, I'll be delivering this contract to the main office. Look forward to getting the good news tomorrow. Sounds good. I'll be waiting. Lloyd. We can't let him get away. Mineth, before you go, we have a few more questions. Oh? What might those be? Are you aware of the allegations levied against you? The primary allegation, of course, being suspicion of fraud. What? That's absurd. How dare you insult Mineth like that? Now, Derek, please calm down. Mineth? Special support section, was it? What could possibly make you suspect that I'm some sort of criminal? Surely you have some kind of proof of your claim, don't you? That we do. Interesting. Why don't you tell me all about it? But first, let me remind you that I am an Imperial citizen. If you try to bring me in without decisive evidence, I will do what I must to resolve this, even if you are police officers. That's fine with us. Lloyd, don't worry, Ellie. Let me handle this. For our investigation, I have no doubt Mineth is guilty. I'm going to expose Mineth and show Derek the truth. Interesting. If that's how you want to play this, then go right ahead. I'll answer anything you like. So, what's your first question? First, about your actions in Crossbell. There's a contradiction between what you say and what you've done. Could you please recount your actions for me? Contradiction? Since arriving in Crossbell, I've been cooperating with Derek on a plan. This plan will result in the formation of Armorica Honey Company, a subsidiary of the Quincy Company. It will specialize in producing candy made from Armorica's high-quality honey, combined with my company's acumen. It is a surefire success. The business already has an account in its name, and it is just about prepared for launch. Tell me, what is so contradictory about that? Well, everything. This plan is more like a charade from where I'm standing. Our investigation has uncovered a key contradiction in what you just said. Isn't it obvious? The plan is underway. The record we looked into at the IBC revealed your mistake. The plan you mentioned, in reality, it hasn't actually progressed at all. The IBC? What are you talking about? Consider this. If the Quincy Company intended to advance its plan here in Crossbell, it would need a loan from the IBC to fund the construction and development of the subsidiary. Well, yes, of course. I registered the company with the city and created a corporate account. That's as far as you went, isn't it? The account for the Armorica Honey Company only had the minimum balance required to open an account in it. While we weren't told the exact amount, I would speculate it's only in the tens of thousands of Mira. Just how were you planning to build a factory and run a business with so little starting capital? You looked into my IBC account? This can't be true, can it, Mineth? Please don't misunderstand, Derek. I never said what they're claiming is the truth. I'm merely commenting on the audacity it takes to do something so invasive. And explain why there's hardly any Mira in that account. As an employee of the company, I must be careful when moving money around. As such, I can't take out a loan on behalf of the Quincy Company. Of course, I will be securing a loan from the IBC once I've received permission from the main office. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. A deft evasion. Don't count us out yet. I can tell Mineth is getting frustrated. If we continue to press him and pile on the evidence, we can get him to crack. What's with the look on your face? Do you have something more to ask? It just so happens I do. You haven't cleared your name yet, Mineth. You're still not satisfied? Don't let them rattle you. I will make sure to clear any and all of your doubts, Derek. Next, I'd like to ask about you, Mineth. You say that you're employed by the Quincy Company. But is that really true? What are you talking about? Are you implying that Mineth isn't associated with the Quincy Company at all? That's what our evidence points to. Goodness me, I didn't expect you to say something so outlandish. How about I show you my business card, employee ID? Those articles could be forged. Regardless, we have evidence that would supersede either of those. And we found it in a Quincy Company informational brochure. An informational brochure? Oh yeah, the one in Mademoiselle's room. We recorded the main points in our detective notebook. The brochure comes directly from the Quincy Company's main office, so there's no doubt of its accuracy. There is a clear contradiction between what you told us yesterday and the brochure's contents. What I told you? Something that would prove that you couldn't possibly be the employee that you claimed to be. His dislikes of sweets. You told us something peculiar yesterday. I may work for the company, but I've never been one for sweets. Do you deny this fact? What does that have to do with anything, Lloyd? That's right. I don't care for sweets. What of it? Are you trying to say that someone who dislikes sweets couldn't possibly work for a confectionery company? A confectionery company? No, not at all. But this one? You better believe it. Well, what are you on about? Who do you work for? The confectionery police department? This is what was written in the brochure. Executive samples development products and, after many planning meetings, judge whether they are worthy of being brought to market. Isn't that curious? What does that... Wait. It doesn't make sense for someone like Mineth, who doesn't like sweets, could work for a company like Quincy. Not with a tradition like that. Wouldn't you agree? That's... No, I mean, I never said I hated sweets. That's not going to work on us. You admitted to not liking them in this very conversation. How stupid do you think we are? Gah. So that raises the question, why would you lie about being an employee of the Quincy Company? It's simple. You intended to gain Derek's trust before ripping him off. This is the only deduction I can make based on the evidence. As for the confectioner wanting to make use of America's honey, the Quincy Company was just a name with weight thrown out to win Derek's trust. Mineth, what is the meaning of this? You tricked me? Derek, don't allow yourself to be deceived by these scoundrels. What did you just call us? Think about it for a second. If I did come to Armorica Village for the purpose of founding a fraudulent company named the Armorica Honey Company, if I did have an ulterior motive in deceiving my very good new friend Derek, then what was it? Why would I go to such ridiculous lengths? If you can't prove that, then you have no right to call me a fraud. You should arrest yourselves for slander. You are asking for it. He got Tio riled up. That one's easy. Everyone here knows exactly what you're after. What? Are you sure, Lloyd? I mean, I might know, but I definitely don't want to be the one to put it on the spot. Don't worry, I've got this. The person who pointed us in the right direction today also went to retrieve the final piece of the evidence that will end this. That's the final piece of the puzzle that will oust Mineth once and for all. Quit that mumbling. If you have something to say, then out with it. I know the real reason you've gone to such lengths to deceive this village. Seizing land rights. Your true objective here is obtaining the land rights to Armorica Village itself. What? A trader we know named Harl Hayworth gave us some information about you. Mineth, immediately after arriving in Crossbell, you were looking into the state's land prices. If you were employed by the Quincy Company in search of business opportunities, this would make no sense. So why do it? I can only think of one possibility. Your objective from the start was to acquire land. But that's right. It wouldn't make any sense. There's more to it. Armorica Village is surrounded by scenic beauty, making the village itself a high-value location. Suppose the land was sold to a real estate agency to have villas built here. How much Mira do you think it would sell for? I would estimate something in the tens of millions of Mira for land like this. That said, I don't think the villagers would ever agree to sell. Exactly. Their unwillingness to part with the land under normal circumstances is the crux of his plan. Now, assuming your motive was to obtain the land rights, then your actions become clear. First, you obtain the rights to Lotus Fields, the farmlands, and any private property. Then, under the pretext of returning to your company's main office, you disappear from Crossbell entirely. Finally, you sell the deed on the black market and collect a large sum of Mira it's all worth. That, Mineth, has been your plan the entire time. Mineth? I can't believe what I'm hearing. Lloyd! Is that... Thank goodness, it looks like we made it in time. Eric? Father? Mr. Hayworth? Aren't you from Mr. Grimwood's office? I'm his assistant, Pete. He would have come himself, but he had to get back to drafting the Constitution. Did you come with the evidence? That we did. Ian said this would prove to be useful insurance. I think you should all see this. Pete produced a photograph for everyone to see. It was of a man who looked like a merchant with the same face as Mineth's. The man in this picture. Why? Why do you have this? A reporter Mr. Grimwood knew in the Empire gave this to him a long time ago. However, the name on this photo isn't Mineth. It's Rittner. Rittner? I feel like we heard that name recently. Ah, I know. It's the name of the man who stole the land of the Erebonian Baron that Mr. Grimwood told us about. Heck. Oh yeah, that dude. That's right. I asked Ian about it again, and he said there's no mistaking it. Well, this is a plot twist I wasn't expecting. Lloyd, why don't you do Mineth the honors? Tell him what this photo could only mean. With pleasure. The reason the man before us, Mineth, and the man in the photo, Rittner, look the same is... they're the same person! Mineth and Rittner are one and the same. That's the only way. And it's because they're the same person that their MOs are an exact match. Mr. Grimwood came to the same conclusion. The man must have fraud down to an exact orbal science. You're a crook, Mineth. You'll be charged with attempted fraud. This, of course, on top of the fraud you previously committed in Erebonia. I can only imagine how many skeletons they're going to find in your closet when they get done with you. I would enjoy hearing all of the details in the department's interrogation room. Damn you! My work must be flawless. You damn kids! Mineth? Don't get full of yourselves. You may have won this time, but I won't be captured so easily. What? Come, my lovely beasts. Missed opportunity from saying meddling kids. Yes. I'm not a crook, Mineth. 2022. Tio wants to be the bad cop. Tio can be the bad cop. What? Monsters? They appear to be well trained. These cougars. Don't freaking tell me. No. Derek? Chief Tolta, it's dangerous. Do you have an idea what you've done? I know precisely what I am doing. That's why I'm doing it. Don't even think for a second about trying to fight me. That is, unless you don't value the lives of Derek and the villagers. Damn you. Now, get out of my way. How did those 5 doggos fit into that tiny van, I wonder? Haha, fare thee well, for we shall never meet again. We could have took him. Derek. We can't let him escape. Chase him. No. He managed to get away. I've never been so frustrated. I can't believe a spineless coward like him could give us a slip. At least none of the villagers were hurt. Let's look at the silver lining. What a mess. If we come across him again, he won't be so lucky. For now, let's regroup with Chief Tolta and the villagers to report what's happened. Yeah, that's a good idea. Five big cats with knives stick out of the side of their mouth. If they were each a different color, I'd be afraid of them forming a giant robot. The introduction of Zoids. Randy knows something. I'm guessing that he has. I'm guessing they have ties to the Red Constellation in some way. I can't thank you all enough for what you've done today. It is no exaggeration to say that you saved the village from the clutches of that thief. In the end, he still got away, though. Yes, but now the department knows to keep a lookout for him. It's only a matter of time before he's caught. Derek? I made a grave mistake. I've caused so much trouble. I was roped into his scheme, and it nearly cost us the village. Don't be so hard on yourself. You're not the one who's guilt. No, it's my fault. Completely and entirely. I was so desperate to fix the village that I ignored my father and nearly ruined everything. I have no right to become the next village chief. That is where you're wrong. Father? I've been so overly conservative that I never tried to hear your proposals for what they were. I've known the village will go under if we maintain our current course, and yet I've done nothing. It's my actions that drove you to do this, so I must bear a large share of the responsibility for letting this happen. That's very admirable, Chief Tolta. Thanks to this crisis, I've finally realized my mistake. The future of this village cannot hinge entirely on a single stubborn old man's ideology. Derek, we must work together from now on. We must cooperate and discuss our ideals with the villagers. This is the only way we can protect the future of our village. You're right. I'm so sorry, Father. I will dedicate myself to the betterment of the village from here on out. I'm happy the two of you were able to reconcile. Same. Maybe that makes almost losing your village to a crook worth it. Damn it, Wazzy! Put a sock in it, Wazzy. Learn how to read a room. I'm really sorry about him. I swear, we've tried everything. Ahem. I owe you all an enormous debt, so allow me to thank you once more. I also owe my gratitude to Mr. Grimwood. It's a shame he couldn't be here. Don't worry, I'll pass along your message along. Even if I played a minor role, I'm glad I could be of assistance. I look forward to continuing our relationship, Chief Tolta. Same to you, Harold. If you could, keep a lookout for Mineth. Contact us right away if he returns. And of course, you can always request the SSS if you need our help for any reason. Hopefully, it won't be for anything related to this ordeal ever again. We'll continue to keep you kids in mind. All right. Quest done. Redelivering the missed deliveries. I like this one because it says Kapuya on it. And we all know what Kapuya is. At the station or the airport? 10 out of 10 on the Mishi livery. And across airport. Okay, airport. Mishi. Hee. It kind of remind the way that he would do me he. It almost would be like the way the dancing Korok guy in Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild does it. Look at it! It's our ship. It's the ship. Excuse me, are you with the Kapuya delivery service? I am. Who are you guys? We're with the Crossbelt Police Special Support Section. We came to speak with you about the support request you submitted. Oh, so it's you. Thanks a bunch. I'm in a real bind here. The job's going to take a while to complete. Are you ready to start now? Pirates going FedEx. Yes, we accept. You can count on us. The request was about some misdelivered packages, right? That's correct. Our company delivers parcels to places all over the continent. Unfortunately, we made an error while we were here in Crossbell. Several packages were listed with the incorrect addresses by our staff and ended up in the wrong locations. That would be a problem. How does such a mistake happen with multiple packages? Well, our president's a bit of a scatterbrain. Yes, he is. This isn't the first time something like this has happened. One time, he even mixed up a delivery slip with a friend's letter. Your president sounds pretty clumsy. I won't deny it, but he's a good man. When we had nowhere to go, he took us in with open arms. Sorry, I got off topic there. To sum it up, I need you to redeliver the packages that ended up at the wrong addresses. We usually have the local shipping company take care of the deliveries here, so I have no idea where I was going. Simple enough. Do you know where all the misdelivered packages are? Ah, yes, according to what I have here, a parcel bound for St. Ursula ended up in Maine's Der Ziegel Inn. There was also a package going to a private home in the residential district that ended up sent to St. Ursula. Please go to each of those places, reclaim the misdelivered packages, and deliver the intended ones. Also, you're going to need these. Fragile package, luggage tag. This is the package that was supposed to go to Der Ziegel. And this delivery slip was supposed to be attached to the package that was delivered to St. Ursula. That's right. But first off, deliver the small parcel to Der Ziegel Inn. Then the package there should go to St. Ursula Hospital, which means you have to take that one. And, you know, the more I try to sort this out in my head, the more confusing it gets. So basically, we just need to go exchange and redeliver the packages in order. Yes, do that. Sorry, I know this is a mess, but I'm counting on your help. Don't worry, I think we can handle it. Let's start by going to Der Ziegel in Mainz first. This is gonna be a pain in the ass, ain't it? I love it. Wazzy seems like the character. Wazzy seems like this duology's Olivier. You have to have that comic relief. I love him. Main. Hey, if it isn't the kids from the police. You guys looking to book a room? Not quite. We came to ask you about something about a case we're working. Have you received a strange package recently? Strange package. Oh yeah, that's right. We did get something weird. I have no idea why we'd get sent stuff like this. You guys know something about this? Jackpot. Well, actually, Lloyd explained the situation regarding the misdelivered packages. Oh, so that's what happened. So the package I got was supposed to go to St. Ursula then. No wonder it's packed with scalpels and stuff. I can only imagine you would be shocked when those arrived. I certainly was. They freaked out Luca, and she was hell-bent on throwing them in the trash tomorrow. It's a good thing we made it in time. Here, let me give you the package you were supposed to receive. Handed over the fragile package. Thank you very much. Let's take a look. Yep, these are the librarian drink glasses I ordered a while back. I'm positive this package is ours. Glad to be of service. Now then, could we please have the package that was misdelivered to you? Of course. Just give me a sec. Free Hopes doesn't like 1 minute loading times like Three Houses do. Dang. Here you are. I trust you'll get that to the hospital where it should be. Received heavy bag. Thanks. And we will. Alright, let's drop by St. Ursula Hospital next. We should inquire at the reception desk. Doesn't take. Okay. It's still nice. Well, it is nice. Yeah, that's nice. Three Houses loaded really poorly. I want to see if. Okay. There's something about this guy. So, I think after we get this request done, come back and see if he says something different. To the Mishi Mobile. Surprising since the Warriors game has to load troops in. I find the Switch loads slow anyway. Wrong section. I'd say I gotta go to reception. Reception. Welcome back to St. Ursula Hospital's special support section. What can we do for you today? About that, Sarah. There's something we need to ask you about regarding a request. Lloyd explained the situation regarding the misdelivered packages. Oh, so that's what that package was. Our head nurse, Martha, was racking her brain over it. She thought it may have been a mistake made by one of the other nurses. A mistaken order? Would that really happen? Yeah, as it so happens, one of the, clumsier nurses made a similar gaffe once before. Did she now? So does that mean the package is currently at the nurse's station? Yes, it should be. You'll be able to find it on the second floor. Here's hoping. Doesn't your heart go out to the poor nurse who was falsely accused? Just a little. Anyway, let's head upstairs. Most games don't get optimized for the Switch, and that will cause many of the loading headaches because the asset work on the Switch, vice work on the Switch. Yeah, they're basically ported to it. So, Martha, where are you to, Martha? There's Martha. Honestly, Chiron, how do you keep making these mistakes when placing simple orders? No, there must be some other explanation. Mifa was even watching over me when I put the order together. I mean, sure, it took me 20 tries before I got the numbers right, but we did it. The things Mifa has to put up with. You're lucky she's your friend. Pardon us, are we interrupting? Oh, hello, SSS. Tyrone here was trusted to make another order of medical supplies, but there's a problem. The package that arrived didn't have supplies. There was some kind of worn out doll inside of it for some reason. Not that this is the first time this has happened. Earlier this year, Cairo messed up an order of bed sheets too. Come on, Martha. Why won't you believe me? I'm telling you that I got it right. I am Ferdinand von Ayer. Lloyd, could it be? Yeah, it must be. What are you two referring to? Well, we might know a thing or two about what happened. Lloyd explained the situation regarding the misdelivered packages. A misdelivery? So, the package we received wasn't even meant for us. That's right. We're currently in the middle of sorting it all out. I think this is the package you were expecting, isn't it? Handed over the heavy bag. Yes, it is. These are the medical tools I asked to have delivered. Thank you for all coming all the way this way to deliver them, SSS. I suppose I owe you an apology, Chiron. I'm very sorry. I shouldn't have jumped to conclusions like that. Water under the bridge, Martha. As long as you're not mad at me. Oh, I just remembered. I wonder if it's in there, too. Chiron dug around the inside of the package to look for something. Ah, there it is. It's my new Kagamaru stat. Since we were ordering things anyway, I thought I might as well add this to the package, too. Isn't he cute? Chiron, I think we should have another talk. Well then, if you wouldn't mind, could we take the first package you received by mistake? We'll make sure it gets to the right person. Of course, it should be right there. Here you are. Small trunk. Thanks, we'll take care of the delivery. Let's see, according to the sales slip that Aaron gave us, this package is meant to be for a private residence in the residential district. Now all we have to do is deliver this package and the request will be complete. A residential district, so it must be one of the houses near Speaker McDowell's place. Do you recognize this address, Ellie? Let me take a closer look. I think I do, but this address is... If I'm not mistaken, it's the empty house to the right of the Representative Campbell's. Wait, isn't that the house that's been abandoned for over a decade and people claim is haunted? Yes, that's the one. The hell? And what's going on? Is it possible someone moved in recently? I doubt it, honestly. Only one way to find out is to head over there ourselves. Let's go deliver the package. Delivery! Delivery. You can see that we have Ferdinand von Goose and Ferdinand von Doof. What's up, Tate? How are you, buddy? Welcome in. Happy Sunday. I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Doing good. I'm getting a lot of things done while I'm on vacation, so. Sag Sunday. I'm sorry to hear. All Sundays are Sag. Does it work on Monday? This is definitely the address. You're right, but I'm not sensing anyone inside. Someone mess up? As in the sender writing the wrong address? Possibly. The receipt has the address, but not the recipient's name. We won't know for sure without at least trying to go in, though. Good thing the letters are very big because I can't read. Very good with it, my glasses. Have a good night, all. Jordan, thank you for the lurk. Appreciate you hanging out, buddy. Work and school, I definitely get that. What's wrong, Tio? Nothing. Hold on. Look. It's open. It was a little ajar, so I thought it might be. Might as well show ourselves in and see if someone really did order this, right? Yeah, I guess so. Oh! Car magazine! Excuse us, is anyone home? Is it me, or does no one live here? True, but we made sure this was the correct address. The front entrance was wasn't locked either. Who are you? It's a little girl. Huh? A girl? Oh, excuse us, little girl. Are you the only one home? We're here to deliver a package. Oh, she finally arrived? Don't just stand there, come in. She didn't even bother hearing what we had to say. She must be the one who ordered the package. That's weird. How have I never heard about the little girl living here? I don't know what to tell you. I wasn't expecting it either. But I can't pretend like she didn't just meet her. The hell is going on here? I don't have a good answer either. Still, I think it would be best to follow her. We might get a better understanding of what this place's story is. Well, here's the package you ordered, I think. Yay, she's finally come home. Upsy daisy. That's one worn out doll. It looks just like her. I think it's one of those famous antique ones, you know, a Rosenberg doll. I don't think so. It doesn't look like that expensive to me. So, did that doll used to be one of yours? She's not a doll. She's my precious little sister. Isn't she cute? Is she now? Well, thank goodness we were able to reunite the two of you then. Uh-huh. Thank you, everyone. I'm going to take her back to our room. Am I the only one who doesn't understand what's going on? I don't think anyone else is home either. What's wrong, Tio? Nothing. I think it was only my imagination running wild. Hello? Is somebody there? Someone's at the front door? Another guest, perhaps? Her parents don't seem to be home, so maybe we should answer it. Yeah, I think you're right. Oh god, it's Imelda! The antique shop owner. What are all of you doing here? We came here on police business. What brings you here, Imelda? Police business? What are you talking about? This house has been totally abandoned for a decade. I've been using this as my shop storage for a while now. What's wrong? You look like you just saw a ghost. Alright, what the hell is going on? Even if Imelda is telling the truth about using this place as a storehouse, how do you explain to the little girl we were just talking to? That's a good question. We could always ask her ourselves. I'm sure there's a perfectly reasonable explanation for this. Right, there must be. I'm pretty sure she went into that back room just past the living room. What? Did you all not hear a thing I just said about it being abandoned? What? Where'd that little girl go? Think she's hiding somewhere? Lloyd, look at those. Huh? Oh, the chills just went down through me. Dolls. I recognize the one we delivered, but the other one, they make a perfect pair. I think I'm owed an explanation here, aren't I? Spill the beans. Or would you rather arrest yourselves for trespassing? I don't think that's how it works, but I'll try to explain. Lloyd told Imelda they came to deliver a package, and the little girl they found looked identical to one of the dolls. Yeah, I see. It's exactly like he said. What are you talking about? I purchased one of those too while traveling abroad many years ago. They were said to be crafted to resemble the daughters of a noble family from long ago. They were a pair of twins, so 2 dolls were made. I was regrettably only able to get my hands on one of them, though. There's nothing wrong with it, but I always thought it was strange I could never find a prospective buyer. What does the last part have to do with anything? For a detective, you are frustratingly slow on the uptake. The point is, the second doll mysteriously came here and was delivered to a mysterious girl, you say? Perhaps my first doll came to life and beckoned her here. No? That's absurd. A certain man always tells me that life dwells within all dolls. Yeah. Perhaps he may be onto something. Life dwells within? Sorry, but that still sounds absurd to me. Then, was what we saw the doll's ghost? It can't be. True or not, I do sense a large amount of spiritual energy in this location. In that sense, it is not unlike Stargazer's Tower or the Moon Temple. I can feel the presence of the 3 higher elements. They may be responsible for the phenomenon. Spiritual energy? That would explain the hair standing up on the back of my neck. Man, I wanted to believe we were seeing things, but if Teotot says there's something to it, who might argue? You're still kidding, right? I really don't want to believe any of this. Yeah. It's so much fun watching your reactions. At the end of the day, it could be nonsense coming from a doll maker recluse. So it's up to you if you want to believe it or not. But only one thing is for certain. And that would be? Now that those sisters are reunited, they can finally find a proper home. This'll be great for my bottom line. Always with the money, eh, you old bag? Anyway, that wraps up the packages request. Let's go back and report to the employee from the Kapuya delivery service. The sooner we leave here, the better. You managed to get all the packages where they needed to go? You guys are lifesavers. Thanks, Special Support Section. It was no problem. I've been meaning to ask. Is she okay? Her face is kind of pale. It couldn't have been. We didn't talk to a cat's got her tongue. I don't blame her. Give her some time and she'll be fine. Anyway, don't worry about it too much. If you say so. Anyway, I'd best be going. If I ever need help in Crossbell again, I'll let you know. Call us anytime. We eagerly await your next request. Okay. So, 2 things. We have to go back to the house and get the, we have to do this. Deep coloring, okay. Yeah. Thank you for your efforts, SSS. I'll be able to find a new home for these dolls thanks to you. Aren't you the slightest bit afraid, Imelda? Wouldn't you get cursed if you sold haunted doll? Yeah. How could I ever be in this business if I was afraid of a few measly ghosts? Do you think these are the only potential haunted items I'm storing here, sweetie? I could introduce you to a ring that is said to bring misfortune to its owners. One after another. I think I'll pass. Maybe it was all the strange items that she keeps here that caused this place to have such strong spiritual energy. So in other words, it's the old bag's fault. I'm down with that explanation. She ain't afraid no ghost. Nope, not at all. Not at all. Okay, so I have one more spot that I want to go to. And then it's story time. And story time. Okay, there's something about this, so I'll wait to finish this day, and then we'll come back here tomorrow. In game tomorrow, I'll say. Ride in the car. I honestly thought you won the jackpot then, Dragon. All right. Let's go, go, go. Can't be that lucky. I got it all used up. Hey, look. A moving truck. Thanks again, Meister. You've been a huge help. But these will be all set for the debut of the new performance in a couple of days. Goddess, your troupe is far too demanding with its requests, you know. You had me tune the automata, as well as design a new stage set. I'm a busy man, you know. Sorry about that. Healy and the troop leader's orders. I know they can ask too much sometimes. I didn't expect them to tack an additional order on top of the usual. It doesn't matter now. If the goddess has ordained it, then your plays are more than welcome to use my studio's skills. Yeah? Oh, I just remembered, Meister. Don't you get our invitations? The troupe would be honored to host you for a public Arc-en-Ciel performance. It'd be a pleasure after all the support you've given us with the set and automata. Your Mira is thanks enough. As I said, I'm a busy man. The gesture is thoughtful enough for me. Oh. Randy's weapon, a 1 or 2 swing kill. Probably a 2. Depends on the enemy, I guess. I told him he wouldn't go for it. Still, I'd love for him to see how his hard work is being used on Sage at least once. Pardon us. Huh? Wait, aren't you the SSS? We are. You're the backstage engineer for Arc-en-Ciel, correct? Yep, the name's Hines. I'm in charge of the stage controls. What are all of you doing out here? Come to see the Meister? Something like that. We had a little matter we wanted to consult with him about. Does your visit relate to the stage equipment? Yeah, we had an order from the automation tune-up and some new set pieces. It was kind of on short notice with the debut of the encore performance coming up, but he did us a real solid getting it done so quickly. Oh boy, to tell you the truth, everyone in the troupe owes the Meister a Torum. You don't say. Speaking of which, isn't the encore performance only a couple days away? That's right, Illy and the others are kicking it on into high gear right about now. Heck, I've been getting into it myself now that we're making these stage changes. Have you now? Sounds like you're all about to put on one hell of a show. That's the idea, but whoops. I'm a little behind schedule. Gotta get back there and set all this up. See you guys later. Stop by and say hi to everyone when you get the chance. We'll be sure to. Be careful on your way back. Yeah, I know he's in a truck, but I have questions. There's stairs. How did he get up here? Am I the only one caught off guard? You're telling me that old man is the one behind all the props that Arc-en-Ciel uses? It appears that way. I had thought their wire flying system was using very modern technology, but I never would have guessed it was made here. Truck ain't scared no stairs? Apparently not. Well, at least we know it's season right now. I'm not sure if he'll be willing to tell us anything about the society, but we'll never know if we don't ask. Same way cow does, one calf step at a time. Damn it. You're right. Nothing ventured, nothing gained, I suppose. Once you enter the doll studio, you will be unable to visit other areas outside of Crossbell City for the rest of the day. Lloyd used the iron knocker attached to the gate. Excuse us. This is the Crossbell Police Special Support Section. Would you mind speaking with us, Meister Rosenberg? There is no need to shout. I am not deaf. If you come all this way, there must be something important you want to ask me. I cannot spare you much time. As long as you make it quick, I'll hear you out. Are you fine with that? What? She's so cute. A Rosenberg doll? No, I believe she is an automation. Enter. This little one will guide you. See to it that you don't wander where you're not supposed to. I guess it can't talk. Are you sure? It doesn't look like any machine I've ever seen. Mind taking us to where your master is? I think we follow it now. It probably wouldn't be a good idea to make him wait either. Ouroboros. Just what kind of enemy are we dealing with? Meat has been rubbed, now sitting in the fridge overnight onto the smoker early AM. Nice. What's up, DJ? Welcome in. I don't know about you guys, but I'm finding it creepy that I'm following a doll around. Lloyd and the others then followed the automaton inside. After going through what felt like a maze, they were led to an underground section of the studio. Hater Mater! What is this place? It is incredible. Is it really that weird considering what happened in the sky? It still creeps me out. Is that it? The giant archaism you were talking about? Yeah, Rend used it back at the Sun Fort. I believe she called it Hater Mater. Listen to all the fireworks going off? Nice. So this is where it's been. Is this a doll studio or a factory? The hell is something like this doing here? I believe those terminals are connected to the Orbital network. This must have been where Kitty was remotely hacking the network. Well, what is it that you want? First, thank you for letting us in and giving us your time. There are a few things we would like to ask you. Would it happen to be about Campanella and what Campanella has been up to? So you know. Do not misunderstand. You're correct that I have ties to the society. However, I am ultimately just a humble doll maker. I am not directly involved with whatever it is the society is planning. In other words, you can't tell us exactly what Campanella is plotting to do. I do not know, nor am I in a position to know. However, you should understand that he is an enforcer, not an Anguius. He is not authorized to propose plans for the society to pursue. The ones who draft such plans are the Anguius. Just slow down, please. This is a little hard to keep up with. Isn't this insider information? Should you really be telling us this so easily? It is hardly confidential. There are many on the continent that know of this already, such as the Church, the Guild, and the intelligence agencies of the major powers, at the very least. That many people know of the society, yet you continue to make dolls here. As I said, I am not in a position to know all of the society's inner workings. Take the archaisms, for example. Their construction relies on technologies from many other workshops besides this one. My studio is just one scale of the serpent, which is why the Church and the Guild will never set foot in here without cause. I guess that makes sense. And I'd wager that someone like you is more valuable to them if you're still attached to the snake, yes? You're a useful source of info. That is correct. Furthermore, this studio is prepared for such an event. Even should you break the front door down with an arrest warrant, all you would find is an empty and meager doll studio. Nothing more. Not even Pater Mater. So what will you do now? Would you like to take me into custody? This may be your only chance. No, that's not why we're here. You've made your point. We'd like to ask you more questions if you're willing to answer. Lloyd, I understand that all we can do, but it doesn't make it any easier. A wise decision. I take it you have several more pointed questions you'd like to ask me. Narrow them down to 3 and I will answer them if I can. Fair enough. 3 questions I want the Meister to answer. Whoa. What? Okay. Showing us more Anguius, okay. So one is Weissman, the other one must be the professor we seen earlier, and then there's the, I'm guessing this is the 6th one. The Missy with the big sword. Although I think she was in the intro. The Anguius. The 7 snake apostles that serve and live to realize the Grandmaster's plan. Even I do not know all of their identities. However, I am sure of the Anguius that will be arriving in Crossbell before long. Can you tell us what kind of people they are? One is a man, the 6th Anguius to be precise. He leads the 13 factories that compromise Ouroboros's technological network. He is the society's greatest theoretician and an avaricious engineer. Needless to say, he is a contemptible man. Tell us how you really feel. Just how contemptible? He is the sort of man who cares for nothing but satisfying his intellectual curiosity. I'm unsure what he hopes to achieve by coming here personally. However, his arrival is anything but good news for Crossbell. We'll take your word for it. He will not be coming alone. There is another. The 7th Anguius, the Steel Maiden, will also be coming to Crossbell. Steel Maiden? That's got an ominous ring if I've ever heard one. She is an enigma. If I were to sum her up, she is a masterful warrior that you have no hope of defeating, even if you all attacked her at once. She's that strong? Aren't you confident? It was merely a word of warning. Unlike the 6th Anguius, I've heard the 7th Anguius has principles. However, should you face her unprepared, I am sure it would cost you your lives. Honk. As I already told you, even I do not know the details. However, I can give you a name. They refer to it as the Phantasmal Blaze Plan. Phantasmal Blaze? Interesting naming choice. This plan, does it call for causing a large-scale incident like the one that happened in Liberal last year? That can't be. I'd never allow them to. Stop making me repeat myself. I do not know the details. What I can tell you is that the Society's intervention here pales in comparison to what happened in Liberal. Though that may not be readily apparent. The Society doesn't make its moves on the surface to begin with. I gotta wear the hat. DJ, thank you for the excuse me. Thank you for the 3 sub gifts. Uruku, Sweet Street Meat, and Troy Mister. And you get the hat. And you get the hat. DJ, thank you for the support. I very much appreciate that. Guys, emotes, please. In chat. I have to upgrade that. So can someone make a note in Discord? I have to upgrade that command. Goose story time, yes. Was that supposed to make us feel better? Because it sure as hell ain't working. Seconded. Only hearing its name makes whatever they're doing more suspect. The D, therefore, G cult. As far as I know, the two sides never had direct ties. What reminder do I want? To upgrade the to update the my emote button, or make a sub hype button. Dragon, a sub hype command. The truth of the matter is that the Society destroyed the lodge that Ren was being held at. What? You're referring to Paradise, right? Yes. My understanding is that the cult used it to lure in and exploit influential individuals from around the continent. It may have been brought down because it began to target influential people that the Society was backing. There's nothing short of a miracle that Ren survived that place. That place deserved to get wiped out, but it's not like that makes Ouroboros the good guys either. I hope you didn't expect that explanation to win us over. As I said, I'm only telling you what I know. Take it how you will. I've answered your 3 questions. That's enough of my time. I'm going to have to ask you to leave now. But... Lloyd... Fine. That's what we agreed to. So we'll be going. For now. Would you mind if we return to have another conversation like this? We'll see. Only if I feel inclined. Keep the following in mind. It is not only Ouroboros that you should have your sights set on. There are other forces at play in the wake of Crossbell seeking independence. Do you mean... He's got a point. Seems like you know a thing or two about that. Maybe I do, maybe I don't. Off you go. Follow the little one again like you did on your way here. If you wander off, I can't guarantee your safety. Darth Taco. Thank you for that host. Welcome in everybody from Darth Taco stream. If you don't know who I am, I am Jeff. I'm wearing a swan on my head, also known as Goose. We do RPGs. We're playing through Legend of Heroes, the Trails of series. We're currently on Trails to Azure. How was gaming? How was your stream? Tell us. I feel like I just came out of a bad dream.
My name is Jeff.
My name is Jeff. How was World of Warcraft? Thank you for that shout out, Miranda. Phantasmal Blaze Plan and 2 Anguius making their way to Crossbell. It's hard to believe. Just how dangerous are they? From what I've heard about the Liberal incident, very. We can't take the threat they pose lightly. Still, if what he told us is true, whatever they're planning in Crossbell isn't as large scale as what they did in Liberal. That'd be a relief. I heard something about an enormous battleship appearing last year. They also used that giant archaism, Patermater. Aren't you hear all of that? The 1st Division has it all labeled as classified. Don't tell me you were here, that you were here about these... God. Don't tell me that you hear about these kinds of things while working as a host too. Maybe. I'm telling you, there's something with Wazzy. I'm saying he's the same as the Onion. Something wrong, you two? Well, yeah, just a little. Theotop might be able to explain it better than I could. You mind? I will try. I was thinking about the automaton. My God. Kevin who? Kevin Onion Graham. I was thinking about the automaton that guided us in and out of the studio. It has become clear the society is far more mischievous than they are malevolent. Mischievous? Yes, they have more technological prowess than both the Epstein Foundation and Zeiss Central Factory, but typically chose not to use it. Given the research that must have gone into Patermater, it would have been more practical to build 50 airships with the same resources. You think so? Could it be that their funds truly are limitless? Maybe, but efficiency is typically the most important part of an army or crime syndicate's organization structure. Those kind of structures are the exact opposite of Ouroboros. That makes their motives and rationale all the more baffling to me. Pretty much hit the nail on the head. Epstein didn't kill himself. Thinking of it that way, and even taking into account their archaism and enforcers, our biggest threat is probably still a Jaeger Corps like the Red Constellation or a crime syndicate like Hayu. And that ain't even mentioning whatever the Empire and the Republic are up to. That's true. All of them combined makes for a disaster waiting to happen. The society making their way here is icing on the cake, and there's still a question of what they're after. Who's to say? Even them backing the terrorists at the trade conference was allegedly on a complete whim. They don't seem to involve themselves in conventional power struggles very often. If that is the case, does that mean what they are working toward is just as unconventional as everything else they do? That would mean we're completely in over our heads trying to do anything about it. All we can say for sure is that whatever it is, it can't be good for Crossbell. At any rate, we should return home for now. I want to relay all of this to the chief and then get in contact with the CGF and guild too. Regardless of what the society is after, the least we can do is try to make sure we're ready for them. I agree. Good call. Back to the city we go. Oh, the tables. The lore. Well, at least we know we're pater maters too. Yeah, the trade conference was last chapter. Wow. Didn't see him. I wonder who that is. Oh. Think it could be urgent. I'm going to take a great risk. What kind of risk are you talking about, Darmus? Oh no! Oh no! Rip. Special support section, Lloyd Banning speaking. Lloyd! Thank goodness I finally gotten a hold of you. Oh, hi, Fran. Have you been trying to call for a while? I have, but I'm not sure why the calls couldn't go through. I even tried everyone else's enigmas too. There must have been some Orwell wave jammer in the basement of the studio. Sorry about that. I think that's our fault for venturing somewhere the signal couldn't reach. What's going on? Do you have an urgent support request for us? I wish that was the case. Half an hour ago, there was a train derailment on the West Crossbell Highway. What? Are you serious? Unfortunately, yes. The 2nd Division is en route to investigate the scene. The CGF is also on the way, too, so I doubt you all need to go. I figured you all would want to know just in case, though. Got it. Thanks for telling us, Fran. If you find out more, please let us know. Roger that. Is something the matter? Did Fran have something important to tell us? Yeah. Lloyd informed the team of the train derailment that took place on West Crossbell Highway. What the hell? An orbital train really derailed? Yeah, Fran said the 2nd Division and the CGF are on the way there, so we can probably leave it to them. Then again, it would be hard to turn away from something so concerning. I'll say, the timing is a little too suspicious for my liking. I doubt this is a mere accident. Lloyd. So, what do we do now? We have until the end of the day to report what we've learned about the society. For now, let's go to the scene of the accident. We can overlook the possibility that the cryptid or saboteur were responsible. At the very least, we can help with the investigation of the crash site. Agreed. We should hurry. We should grab our wheels if we're looking to get there as soon as possible. The orbital car can now travel to the scene of the train accident. What's up, Neil? Welcome home, buddy. How was work? Were those ambulances just now? Correct. The database says they are registered to St. Ursula Hospital. I heard the ambulance and thought and was looking for station. There were 3 of them too. Damn. You think they were transporting the injured from the derailment? Given the timing, I wouldn't doubt it. They're in Cecile and the others' hands now. We have to get to the scene of the accident. Roger. Getting home from work and stop and say hey and see how the stream's going. Stream's going well. Going well. We're doing story now. Now to bed. To bed, you say. To bed. Enjoy your lurk. Get some sleep, buddy. Those buses just now. They look like the ones that are usually travel between Tangram and Altair. They must be transporting the passengers that were on the train. Damn, that ain't good. I am concerned about the scale of the accident. We'll do see you for the next one, hopefully. No worries, no worries. Yo, Lloyd, you guys made it. So, you were brought in as well, friends. Thank you for coming too, Noel and Randy. Of course. Good to see you, Dahlia. Looks like that we came to the right place. What's the situation? Commander Bales and the police are currently investigating the scene of the accident. The 2nd Division's Inspector Donovan and Detective Raymond are leading our department's efforts. From what I can tell, it looked like a mess, a complete derailment. It's going to take a long time to get things cleaned and repaired. And what of the passengers? No casualties, thank the goddess, but a few were in critical condition. Ambulances carried away those in most need of medical attention a little while ago. Yeah, we saw them on the way here. And the other passengers were bussed away. Yeah, they had one round of buses arranged for the passengers heading to Crossbell City and another for those going to Altair. It was chaos sorting it all out. I can imagine. Not every day you have to manage an accident this severe. We should make our way to the scene as well. Are we good to pass through? Yeah, I think you should be good to go. I can't imagine anyone will complain. Head in whenever you're ready. Do 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 do. Oh no! Dang, son, look at that! It's the power of the goose. That's what derailed the train. Oh God, Grace is here. This is some accident we've got on our hands. The train failed its training. Do you know what caused the derailment yet? No, as you can see, the investigation is currently underway. The current working theory is that the first car was derailed due to a fallen rock on the track. My apologies, but I'm going to have to ask that the media refrain from entering the accident site. We need to focus on the beginning of the repair efforts immediately. Come on, really? Commander, shouldn't we? I understand that the police would like to prioritize the investigation. However, this is the Transcontinental Railroad we're standing on. It is the most important traffic route in all of Zamoria. We're under pressure from Mayor Crow, the Imperial and Republican governments, and the Railroad Corporation to fix this as soon as possible. The CGF has no choice but to comply. I get the logic, ma'am. I really do, but I'm with the detective. If you don't get to the bottom of what happened here, it could happen again, right? I'm aware, however, I can only permit that the investigation be carried out alongside the repairs, which will be until this evening at the very least. That is how long we've been given. So, before the heavy machinery for moving the cars arrive, we need to hold on just a moment. The SSS? Oh, hey Lloyd and gang. Ah, so you guys came to scope at the scene too, huh? Please excuse us, Commander. Did we hear you correctly? You're going to reopen the railway before the investigation can conclude? You're still a member of the CGF, Seeker. You haven't forgotten the importance of the railroad to Crossbell, correct? I didn't want to put this so bluntly, but if we delay repairing the railroad, the Empire and the Republic could interpret it as interfering with the economies. I know that, but she's right that we need to take that into consideration. If they laid that at our feet, there's not much Crossbell can do to refute it. Give me a break. We still have a duty to get to the bottom of this mess. Commander Bales, give us 30 minutes. No, give us until that equipment arrives. Are you suggesting... Yes, given Crossbell's current political climate, I'm not ready to chalk this accident up to being an unfortunate coincidence. Shouldn't we determine whether this was something that was bound to happen or an act of foul play? It is also possible that this accident is related to our investigation of the cryptids. Wouldn't you rather let us do our thing for a peace of mind, if nothing else? I never thought I'd see the day that I would be the impatient one between the two of us, Orlando. Inspector Donovan, I suggest we prioritize the investigation of the accident scene first. My men will focus on the repair efforts once our equipment arrives, while the CPD continues investigating. Take as long as you need. You won't hear any complaints from us. Let's do this. And we'll just stay out of your way while we collect our data. I've no objections. You may wander freely up until the formal repairs begin, on the condition that you in no way interfere with the site investigation. Am I clear? Crystal. Would you mind if we joined in on the inspection too, Inspector? Don't even have to ask. We'll tackle it together. You should speak with the conductor. He's resting over there. The engineer got nicked up in the accident and was taken to the hospital, unfortunately. The conductor's still your best bet here. Understood. Let's get to this. My God, let's get this investigation underway. This would be the locomotive. It is the most important car of them all because it allows the orbital train to move. Inside the engineer's cab and the orbital engine that was produced by the Rainford Company. That aside, doesn't something about this seem off to you? I was just thinking the same thing. There's not nearly as much damage on the front as I would have thought. You're right. It's a little unnatural compared to the rest of the car. Think about it. Had it collided with something head on, it wouldn't still be this pristine. Whatever caused the derailment must have hit it somewhere else. Look at that damage. Maybe a fallen rock from a nearby cliffside caused this dent? Could it be where it collided with the train? It is possible, given the spherical dent on the side. Don't know about that. Would the rock cause those scratch marks in the middle of the dent too? When you think about it, isn't the position rather far up too? I don't think it's a simple fallen rock would have left such a mark. If that's the case, then just what did collide with the train? I don't want to talk to anybody yet. Okay. Conductor. There's the conductor. What a day. I should be thanking the goddess I'm okay and wasn't carried away in one of those ambulances. I've never seen a train derail so violently before. You're the conductor, correct? If you wouldn't mind, could you give us your account on what happened at the time of the incident? Sure thing. If that's what you want, I'll do my best to tell you how it happened. The detective over there asked me earlier, but I think I was still too shaken to give a good statement. Anyway, it all happened so suddenly, from what I can remember. I was bewildered after the fact. That's understandable. After such a severe accident, we don't expect you to remember every little detail. Any normal person would be in shock after going through something like that. Exactly. It's okay if you don't remember everything. Even the small details could be helpful. Like if you saw or sensed anything suspicious before and after the accident. Suspicious? Well... Oh, now that you mention it, yeah, maybe. Remember something? Just before the derailment happened, I was on the comms with the engineer. Something made him yell. I remember him saying, "What is that?" The accident happened right after. The front car derailed and then the others did, and so did the others, one after the other. The rest of you already know. Now I'm out here talking to you. You are sure he yelled, "What is that?" From the sounds of it, he must have seen something shocking. My thoughts exactly. What the engineer saw is now our greatest question. Take the time to interview everyone here. Okay. It's been dangerous to get too close. Holding in balance for now. Oh, that's officer. Officer. Hey, Marielle. How's the repair work going? I would say it's proceeding just as well as the investigation is. But until the heavy machinery arrives, we're not going to be able to move the train itself. For now, all we can do is clear the debris. I figured that was the case. We could lend a hand if you need it. No, you don't have to do that. You six should focus on your investigation. We'll inform you if we discover anything that could aid with that. I feel like there's something I'm missing. That's something. Look at the marks on the rock wall. They're enormous. It's like the whole surface has been carved out. There are gouge marks on the ground, too. The train must have derailed to the left side. Take a closer look at the wall. What are those blue streaks? I believe that would be paint. Right, it's the paint from the train cars themselves. After the train derailed, it must have smacked against the rock wall and left those blue skid marks. No doubt, but would that be enough to make it drag for so long and leave these kind of marks? We need to rethink what caused the marks to this degree. Okay, I think we've gathered as much intel as we can. We have enough for Lloyd anyway. It better be enough for him because I sure as hell haven't connected any dots. I may have noticed a thing or two. What's our next move? Should we review the information we have thus far? Yes, let's do that. We should call over the commander, Inspector Donovan, too. So, has your investigation yielded anything insightful? Well, I hope so. First, I want to address the possibility of the derailment being caused by a fallen rock that was on the tracks. From our investigation, I believe it's safe to rule out that possibility. Really? Why? I take it you can back that up, right? What's your reasoning? Naturally. The dent on the side of the locomotive side. Well, I'd agree that could be an important clue to understand what happened, but I don't think it proves. Ah, no, it was the engineer. Haha, fuck. I don't think it proves it wasn't a fallen rock. It doesn't rule out the possibility that the dent was caused by a rock that came rolling off from the right side of the cliff. Oh yeah, good point. In that case, the best evidence would be the lack of damage to the front of the locomotive. Yeah, I think so too. Well, I would have got that wrong either way. Could you explain further? I'd agree there's less damage at the front, but what does that prove? Logically, if the derailment was caused by a fallen rock landing on the tracks, the train would have first collided with it head on. For the mass of a high-speed train to lose balance and derail, the impact would have been severe. If that's what happened, then the evidence of it would be apparent. Oh, I think I get it. But the front of the first car is hardly dinged up at all. So that rules out the first and most obvious explanation. Indeed, it does. This is information we cannot overlook. In that case, what do you suspect caused the derailment? At first, I had considered whether this was possible of the work of some kind of explosive. What? You mean it could have been Jaegers or a terrorist group? I can't deny that my mind wandered there pretty quickly too. I kept my eyes peeled but didn't see any traces of explosives. I would hope not. We accounted for that and didn't find anything of that nature. Agreed. Going down the list of possible explanations, something occurred to me. The train may have collided with something, but not head on. It's possible it was rammed on the right-hand side. My factory hero player sense is perpetually screaming at them not to stand on the rails. Excuse me? Rammed? Are you out of your mind? This is starting to sound less like a train derailment and more like a car chase. Now I get it. That would explain the dent on the right side of the locomotive. Yeah, that's exactly what I think happened. Whatever it was, it hit the right-hand side of the full-speed train. That was when the engineer yelled while on the comms with the conductor. Our unknown entity ran alongside the train and rammed it from the right, causing the dent. The force then leading the locomotive to derail to the left-hand side. Then, whatever caused this pushed the locomotive to the far rock wall. It skidded there until finally coming to a stop, leaving marks on the rocks along the way. Finally, the cars that were following also derailed and scattered along the way. Stick figures. Whenever you have trouble trying to explain something, draw it in stick figures. Works great. Given what we know right now, that's my working hypothesis. Huh. Well done. You really are Guy's little brother, you know? Hell, your reasoning may be better than his. No kidding. Guy's style of investigating was less thorough and more instinctive. Hey, watch it. He's ours. And we're proud to have him. Jeez, calm down, leader. Even I couldn't think that far ahead. Very impressive. That leaves one question, Lloyd. The what? Do you suspect this is the work of a large monster? Or was this perhaps caused by another of the recently spotted cryptids? Well, when I think about it, I'm gonna go cannot say for certain. There's no question that a cryptid would have the strength to derail a train based on our experience. I can understand why that would be the most likely explanation, but I can't say for certain yet. I agree. If this were caused by a cryptid, then the higher elements would likely be present. Not to mention, we didn't see those blue flowers anywhere nearby either. And the others didn't move. Yes, I would agree with everything you've said. However, this just further raises the question of what we're dealing with. Another possibility is one of the society's archaisms, but I'm not sure about that either. Would they resort to such a drastic and forward attack? Well, what was that? Some kind of monster? And it wasn't an ordinary one. It was ominous. Activating sensors. Did you hear that? Rains, get the photo courts ready. We're getting a shot one way or another. You can't be serious, Grace. Distance 10 Selge and moving. It is escaping to the west. Let's chase after it. Was just thinking the same. Roger that. What? Are you out of your minds? If you're going, the CGF will back you up. No, I think we should stick to the plan. Keep working on the repairs. We'll go and give chase. You're right. That's for the best. I'm not entirely comfortable with it, but given the machinery will be arriving soon, we've no other choice. Stay in contact. If something happens, we will come assist you. Understood, ma'am. Grace, you're not about to say that you'll be coming along too, are you? Well, I can't deny that I considered it, but I get it. The situation seems stickier than usual, so I'll hang back this time. We'll be drafting and releasing a bulletin once we make it back to Crossbell City. I'll get back to gathering reports and collecting data for it. That should be safe to do. Besides, if you guys followed us and got attacked, you might never get a chance to make that report. Don't I know it? I'm not sure what y'all are chasing, but if it's related to the derailment, it's going to be a nasty one. You better be careful and come back in one piece for me to interview later. We will. Thanks. All right, let's start our pursuit. First, we need to head west on the highway. Cha! Let's go bag us a monster. But first, we have to pick up some dumplings. And I'm kind of want my CP back. We Oh, we literally can't go past here in the car. All right, let's go. Tio goes into radar tower mode, definitely. Here it is again. You know, gotta have Teotot level perception to tell it's coming from the west. I feel like it's being beaconed, like when we first met Zeit. That is correct. However, unlike with Zeit, I can sense a violent intent. Whatever this monster is, it's clearly intelligent. Regardless, we need to be careful. What was that? It sounded like something breaking. It wasn't an explosion either. It came from the south. Hurry. Is this going to be a fight or a dungeon? We're going to find out here shortly. Look there. The gate is supposed to be made of some kind of reinforced alloy too. There's no way this was done by some ordinary monster. I think we're going to go to bed. I gotta get up early if I'm going to do some proper barbecue tomorrow. All right, Sealand, get some rest, buddy. Always appreciate seeing you. Have a good rest of your night and a good start to tomorrow. I hope your barbecue goes well tomorrow. First it derails a moving train. I am. And now this. The hell are we dealing with? We should still pursue. They couldn't have gotten too far. If it makes it too deep and if it makes it into the deepest part of the forest, we're going to have some trouble keeping up. Yeah, good point. Why is Wazzy acting so strange? I know what the yell is. Oh, there he is. I recognize the yell. Looked like everything was destroyed. That can only mean one thing. What's responsible is likely just below here. I am certain I can sense movement below us. There is also one strange presence that I cannot put my finger on. Strange. Below here is a survival training area. It's the heart of Nox Forest and is dense woodland almost completely untouched by man. If we're going down there to chase our culprit, we'll need to be prepared. You're right. I've been there once for training at the police academy. Dense doesn't even begin to cover how bad the visibility is down there. This is going to be one for our most dangerous missions yet. Are you ready for that, Ellie, Tio, and Wazzy? Honestly, Lloyd, I think you are the biggest liability here than we are, Lloyd. You want to compare Sepith lines with me, buddy boy? He's got a point. We're about to climb down to some of the worst terrain we've ever been in. But I think we'll be all right if we work together. Yeah, we're a team. We'll pull through this. Okay, you've made your point. Just keep in mind that we've no idea what's waiting for us down there. Let's descend only when we're ready. Of course. Roger.